Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Noemi. I am an Italian artist and a small business owner, but today we're here to talk, honestly. And as I said in the previous video, I don't know, still don't know if I want to post this kind of videos on this channel or on the other channel that I already opened it, but I don't know if I will use it. So just bear with me. And if you have suggestions about that, let me know. We are going to talk about Gabbie Hanna, none other than Gabbie Hanna right now, uh, because I fear that this video would be like 3 hours long. Honestly, whatever. Just go with the flow. Honestly, we are going to rewatch because I think it's important. I think it's important to rewatch the Jessi Smiles video. Um, because I think right now with all the mess that not Jessi Smiles, Gabbie Hanna is causing, in my opinion, I think it's important to listen, but not to her, to the people she hurt. And I know that there's always two sides of the of a story. There's two sides of a coin, blah blah blah, whatever. But um, I think that the like history, history. Let's talk about history. History repeats itself. Oh, sorry, I have the headphones on because I won't hear the video, but I will show you my white hair for now. So, um, what happens with Gabbie Hanna usually is that history repeats itself. Okay, so every 3 to 4 years she comes back and then she does the same shit all over again. And I think that the Jessi Smiles video, the last video that she posted, is like a mantra, honestly. It's like something that you need to watch and rewatch every time Gabbie Hanna pops up. You just need to ignore wherever Gabbie Hanna is doing, because it's always the same with different aims. Like this time, she came back and she aimed at Jessi Smiles and Trisha Paytas, but then she aimed at Brooke Monk. Who else? Other people. So yeah. So in my opinion, I think it's better to look at the person who maybe known her best back in the days, and honestly to see that most of the things that she talks about in this video are still relatable, are still a direct answer to whatever she's doing, like to whatever Gabbie Hanna is doing. It's crazy. It's crazy because this video is from 4 years ago. 4 years ago, guys. So, but besides this, I wanted also to say that in another video that I make, but I didn't post, I was going to talk about the fact that I think I thought, sorry, that feeding into the Gabbie Hanna discourse was a little bit wrong because it was like giving her an excuse to keep on talking and keep on being delusional, honestly, in my opinion. Um, so I was like rambling for 40 minutes in this video that I didn't post about the fact that, yeah, I think it's important to talk about this kind of things, but then, like, I wanted to react to each episode of the podcast that she and the husband posted. But then I'm laughing because this guy didn't have a name. Nobody knew his name, honestly. So Okay. And in one of these episodes, she said, like, everybody was talking about my marriage, but I didn't want my marriage to be public. We still don't know the name of the guy. We still don't know that. We just know that you're married, but whatever. So I was like, I think it's not good that people are reacting and talking and feeding into this narrative. But then I thought about the fact that if a woman can come back to the internet and talk shit about people, about things happening to her years and years ago, and bring it back again after years, after these people have family and children and whatever, and they move on. It's not that you do something bad and then it expires. No. But to come back and always repeating the things that were put it aside, and she actually said, I'm sorry, and published this apology video while singing Jesus things. It was over, honestly. When you put a point, like a period point, you just need to move on. And this is what she cannot do. And I honestly think, who cares? Who cares if she feels the right to come back and talk shit about people? It's okay for other people to talk and give opinions on her. So, as many people, I'm talking about Adam McIntyre, Peter Monn, Fat Sajak, which I love. Like it's talking about Jesus. It's three. I don't know how you say it. Like the Jesus, God, the Holy Spirit. For me, those three channels are like, but yeah, talking about them, they can do that. And honestly, I was not talking about her for I didn't talk about her for a while, and mainly because I felt that I was feeding into the narrative of her going online and looking for a name and only seeing people talking shit about her. But girl, if you do shit, you like, it's the same for everybody. If you talk shit about other people will talk shit. It's karma. I don't know. Call it as you want. So yeah, I did the introduction to all my thoughts, but right now we are here to hear it from Jessi Smiles, hear it again from Jessi Smiles, and you will see, and I will try to connect the dots with you about all the things that she's going to talk about 4 years ago, which are still relative today. Today. Okay. So let's go on with the video, shall we? I'm so sorry to bring her up, but I think because she doesn't want to do anything to do with Gabbie Hanna, which is super fair, but I am bringing her up because I think she deserves to be heard and she deserves to be relevant. I don't know, today. So let's hear it from her. Let's dip in the past, which is still the present, because uh, as we can see in the life of Gabrielle Kroner Hanna, you cannot move on. You cannot move on. And I think, in my opinion, it's sad. Okay, let's go on with the video.
Hey guys, I can't believe I'm making this video. A quick trigger. Hey guys,
I'm sorry
I
for
can't
that.
believe I'm
What
making
was
this
that?
video. A quick trigger warning. This video is going to heavily touch on the topic of rape. It does go into a bit of detail of the night of my rape. And so if that is triggering to you in any way, please click out of this video. It is not worth it. If you haven't kept up with the things that have happened after my video in 2019, let me just give you a brief summary.
Wait. She says, I always try to be cautious of the way I speak on the internet. However, for most of this video, I am emotional and upset. The nature of this topic is extremely triggering for me, and I apologize in advance. So, um, before making this video, 2 years prior to this video, she put it out another video which was called Gabbie Hanna Needs to Be Stopped, because 2 years before, Gabbie Hanna, was talking again about her, and I am all for the go out and talk about the people that you don't like, honestly. Um, maybe with different names if they're public figures, just if you want to attack them, like for I am all for just talk, openly talk, honestly. But when it comes to personal experiences, like we are going to deep dive, not deep dive, but we are going to hear Jessi Smiles uh, about something that affected her life deeply. It doesn't matter how much I hate you. It doesn't matter how much I dislike you. I despise you. I will never, never put words out about your experience. I will talk about my experience, like how I relate to you, how much I don't like you for this, and that. But I will never say something about what happened to you in your private life, honestly. But okay. Okay. Since my video about Gabbie Hanna in 2019, Gabbie has been adamant that she had no relationship to Curtis Lepore, the man who raped me 8 years ago. Gabbie and I were best friends in 2014-15. She knew my story, she knew my pain.
I have never collabed with Jessi's rapist. If you ask me to collab, I'm not gonna tell you to fuck off because you blackmailed me. I've never, ever publicly defended Jessi's rapist. In fact, one time I was at an event, an influencer event, and he happened to be there and he tried to take a Snapchat selfie with me and I told him to delete it right now because I did not want to be associated with him. I have zero association with Curtis Lepore. I think I only saw him like 2 or 3 times. One was at an event in Hollywood. That's where he was like, hey, Gabbie Show, can I get a pic? And took those pictures. And then afterwards, the same night, everybody from the event went to the diner across the street. And then he was taking pictures of Zayn and I, like implying that he was there with us.
And all the responses are, you know, this girl is a rape apologist and she defended, she left her best friend for her best friend's rapist. Videos that say I am a rape apologist.
Which is not true.
People really think I'm a rape apologist. Literal disprovable slander.
I also listen to Curtis because he's a human being. And just like in real court, in the court of public opinion, if you're gonna judge and condemn somebody, you should at least hear them out. Jessi was looking for any moment that she possibly could so that she could get emotional on the call because she was filming it. And she always knew she was going to post it.
I want a public apology that should never have been made public.
That's not gonna happen, so I understand.
Okay, so then we keep going.
I'm not doing anything with you. Like, I'm not. Like, this is not, you say we keep going.
I'm gonna keep going then. I have publicly apologized for a situation that should have been private. So I think that it's only fair that you can also extend that same courtesy to me, considering what I've been through. This isn't me trying to like hurt you or threaten you in any way. Like, this is not do this or it's gonna happen. Like, I mean, I guess it kind of is, but it's just like I'm not doing it to hurt you.
The clips of the phone call that you heard are from a Twitter thread that I posted a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna get into why I posted it in this video. After that phone call took place, Gabbie texted me with a list of demands that she had, and if I didn't agree to those demands, she was gonna continue talking about our past in the way that she was doing it, which was extremely vile.
You are narcissistic abusers. And you have been for 6 fucking.
Oh, it's like buzzwords that pop like the same narrative all over again. By the way, in this video, we see that Gabbie Hanna came back to Jessi Smiles back in the years with a list of demands. And I was thinking after the first episode of the podcast, which is not the first in reality, it's like the second, but it's not the second, whatever. The timeline is blurry. But I was thinking about um, what does she want? What does a Gabrielle Kroner wants from Jessi Smiles and Trisha Paytas? Like in her wildest dreams. I'm sorry, the bottle popped. Um, like she says that she can talk about her testimony and her trauma because it's her feelings and she's still affected today about what happened and blah blah blah. But in reality, like besides talking, uh, do you want a reaction from these people that you're talking about? Do you want an apology? Do you want back and forth videos that can bring you views? Do you, because like Jessi Smiles didn't didn't came back, didn't spoke about her, didn't address her, didn't even like she's living her life. I think she has children, whatever. So she's rightfully not engaging with this, and I think it's the best choice, honestly, because she sooner or later she will drop it. Trisha Paytas is doing the same, is using the same MO. But I'm talking about what was in her wildest dream. Like, did she wanted a phone call? Did she wanted does she wants? I'm sorry for the English. I'm Italian after all. Does she wants to have a phone call? Does she wants to have a face-to-face conversation? Because also she, and we will see it in this video, she's known for gathering screenshots, like recording stuff. She's the one, no, and I think this is where she was bothered with Jessi Smiles about the fact that Jessi Smiles recorded her and posted her, and she was not okay with that because Gabrielle Kroner, in my opinion, is the one popular for doing so, and we can see it in every video. She pops up like screenshots, 100 screenshots per second. So I really don't know uh what what she wanted, honestly. And this is one of the questions that I had in my mind watching these videos of her TikToks and stuff like that, what she wanted, honestly. Um because I get it to come from like Brooke Monk, which is like a YouTube, a TikTok superstar, and maybe she wanted a response from this girl in order to generate engagement. But to come from for Trisha Paytas and Jessi Smile, who's not even online anymore, I don't know. I don't know. Just my opinion here, just thoughts.
Years, Jessi Smiles.
You've
Literally,
known
right
her
now,
for
I'm
many
like, can I
months.
say that? Yes, I can fucking say
You
that.
can say whatever
You
you
guys
want.
have no fucking idea what I've been dealing with behind the scenes for 6 years. And have I ever said a word? Have I ever tried to start drama with somebody? I was being called a rape apologist and saying I defended my best friend's rapist and ditched my best friend for her rapist. I want the false accusations removed. And I want you to publicly retract them and I want you to apologize.
It was a very, very bizarre summer last summer and now this summer as well. I swear next summer is gonna roll around and I'm just gonna be hiding in a closet. Like, I can't with summer anymore. She gave me 48 hours to talk to lawyers and decide what I was gonna do. And ultimately, I think I came up with a really reasonable compromise. And I did that because I don't wanna fucking do this. I made it very clear on the phone call. I made it very clear on text. I don't wanna continue doing this. So anything that I felt I could do, I was gonna do, which included an NDA that I said I would sign if she signed one as well. I didn't think it was fair for just me to have to sign one. She was refusing to sign one because she said she had to talk about the situation in interviews. If we both sign NDAs, I'll do it and we'll never speak about each other on the internet again.
I also have to, if somebody brings this up in an interview.
No. And I told her I would
And it's crazy. It's crazy to actually think about today. 4 years, I want to show you. 4 years ago, she made this video, and it's crazy to think about the fact that 4 years ago, she already knew that if I do an interview, I need to talk about you. So it's crazy how much she was, um, in my opinion, she was not thinking about the friendship at all in her mind, but she was thinking about the interviews. She was thinking about the aftermath. And maybe she was thinking also about, like, in 4 years I'm going to bring this shit up again to engage, to let people engage while I am putting out music, honestly. Um it's it's crazy.
Would apologize to her, but I would not say that I lied in my video because she wanted me to say that. I do not have a problem with both of us taking our videos down. That for sure, I think, is a possibility that we can both come to.
What I would be looking for is, I should have never posted that video. I said some untrue shit, some true shit.
And I told her I would take down my videos because I never meant to hurt her. I thought that was a very reasonable compromise, to be completely honest, and I still think it was. Gabbie told me that she had some meetings and she would get back to me. And the next I heard from her was when I got a phone call one night. My sister-in-law was in the hospital and I was cooking her dinner because I'm not going to get into what she went through. That is her situation, but it was sad. And so I cooked her dinner because I don't know what the fuck to do. So I just started cooking her dinner because I wanted her to eat well when she got back from the hospital. And Gabbie called me. My husband looked at me and said, "Do not answer the fucking phone." And I answered the phone, of course.
Which is, by the way, something that in the feud between Gabbie Hanna and uh, Adam McIntyre, when I heard the phrase "Adam, call me, Adam, we can talk" or whatever, and then Peter Monn reacted to that video and said, "Please, Adam, do not answer to the phone because she would go on for hours and hours," because Peter Monn, from what he says, spoke on the phone with her. Um, I just went crazy when I heard this. I just went like, "Oh my God, this is so true, man." Because yeah, they went on for hours about this, and thank God Adam McIntyre did not answer like, did not even fathom to talk on the phone. Because for content, when you're a YouTuber, for content, you will do it. Like, you say, "Bah, fuck it, I will do it for views and for engagement, for whatever." But your mental health as a weight. So yeah, it's I am trying to pinpoint, to connect the dots here with everything that is happening right now. Like, back then was happening with her, today is happening with other 30 people. So yeah.
And Gabbie started screaming at me. She told me that my friend Jen Dent was tweeting and that if I didn't get her to stop tweeting, that she had 2 podcasts that she had filmed, filled with our past, filled with emails from our past, and she was ready to release them. And I told her, "Gabbie, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." That's literally what I said. I was like, "I'm not on Twitter. My sister-in-law's in the fucking hospital. Can you leave me alone?" And she told me that she was sorry to hear that, but that we all have a lot of horrible shit going on, and that I needed to get my friend to stop tweeting or else she was gonna release the podcast. And I ended up hanging up on her, and she did send me a text message before I could even text Jen to ask her what Gabbie was talking about, and she reiterated that we all have terrible shit going on, but that I needed to get Jen to stop tweeting. What she was referring to is that last summer, Gabbie Hanna and her fans perpetuated a rumor that Jen Dent had raped a little girl. A random guy from Australia decided to start tweeting Jen that she raped a little girl. And Jen was literally like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But Gabbie Hanna fans, because they hate Jen a lot, they decided to spread that rumor like wildfire. Gabbie ended up addressing this in her Patreon, saying that she was aware of the allegations against Jen Dent, but everyone stay away from these people because they're very dangerous. And I just need to say this right now. There is no little girl there is no victim that has come forward. It is a dude from Australia that, when he was pressed for evidence, literally started trolling people and being like, oh, pee pee poo poo. Like, literally, this is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen on Twitter. So although I always believe all victims, there is no victim. So Jen was upset about that. That's why she was tweeting, because Gabbie's fans tried to get Jen fired. Jen is
About this situation, I really don't know what the hell it was going on back then because I was not on Twitter. I didn't know about this. I don't know about this. So I'm not going to speak about this. Just make your research and make your own uh, thoughts about the situation. I'm not going to give opinions, honestly, on things that I didn't research. So I don't know about this, honestly. Honestly.
a nurse, and they contacted Jen's old nursing job.
And also, I'm going to speed up the process because it's 1 hour long. Let's try with. Is it too fast?
And tried to tell them about her rape allegations. So yeah, I would be fucking pissed too if a bunch of Gabbie fans accused me of raping someone. What on earth? So long story short, I was telling her, like, your fans called her a rapist today. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm literally just trying to cook fucking dinner. And I did talk to Jen and I asked her to stop tweeting, and she got upset because who is Gabbie to demand through me that Jen stops tweeting? Jen's a grown-ass woman who has plenty of issues with Gabbie on their own. So for her to use me as a messenger and then use my past and my trauma against me to get Jen to stop doing what she wants Jen to stop doing is just completely sick. I basically begged her to please leave me alone, and she finally did. So I sent her a pretty long text message that was relaying how uncomfortable it made me feel that she was trying to manipulate me to do things that she wanted by holding our past over my head. I thought that that was fucking awful, and that also I was really disturbed with the information that she wanted by holding.
I'm going to read it. Now that I'm in a clear, we start fine. Now that I'm in a clearer headspace, I spoke to Jen. Again, I'm reading text this small from far away, so bear with me. And she never had access to your servers. She said that she said that because she's upset about your fans calling her a rapist. She's seen screenshots of your server that are posted to Twitter but never actually got into it or spoke to your fans on there in any way. She didn't even know about the servers until someone sent screenshot of them, so she's definitely not in them. At the end of the day, you and Jen have your own problems separate from me, and it's deep rooted. I don't know who this Jen person is, honestly, uh, but this will you will understand where it goes. I don't tell any of my friends to post in my defense at 90% of the time. I don't even know they're doing it until it's done. I am not willing to be a mediator or messenger for you two. You have her number. You can use it however and whenever you'd like. As per, yeah, this is honestly uh, for grown people to ask a third person to mediate. Come on. Mm. I didn't want to barf into the mic this time. I'm becoming better. You can say, okay. As for Lily and Megan, they didn't tweet yesterday about you at all. So I don't know why you included them in the people I need to stop. As for sharing the photo you addressed of you with Curtis, they're not the same photo. That's why she brought it up. People put two and two together and realized that you took more than one photo with him. I understand that you left the internet in an attempt to solve this, but unfortunately, the damage you caused with your podcast and live streams and constant tweeting about the situation is done. You practically begged people to find proof of you supporting hanging out with Curtis, and they did. And they sent it to me, Jen, everyone. Jen shared it, I didn't. Basically, everyone is non-stopping looking into the situation, and quite frankly, you ask them. This situation, you ask them to. All I can do is control when and what I share. I haven't shared or tweeted anything since the day we spoke on the phone. Mostly because I was under the impression that we were going to try and work something out privately. But judging by your two expose podcasts that you have read ready to go. Yeah, by the way, you will see about this ready to go things. I think it's safe to say that that's not going to happen. Okay, let's move on because otherwise I will take 3 hours to read this.
Our
Because
past
it's
over my
really
head. I thought
long.
that that was fucking awful. And that also I was really disturbed with the information that I had found out about Curtis and about her relationship to him. And I wanted to be concise with my thoughts and honest and just try to get my point across as best I can. And Gabbie didn't even read the message. She's like, oh, that's a novel. Like, my God. And then Gabbie got to the point where she said, well, we need to just speak through our lawyers. We can't talk to each other anymore. And I just put LOL, okay. And then Gabbie did what Gabbie does best. And she searched her mind for the most heinous shit she could tell me. And that was, dude, Jen raped a little girl though. And I literally was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she's like, oh, have you seen the evidence? It's dark. There are multiple times that Gabbie has just racked her brain for like, what would piss Jessi off the most right now? And then she goes with that. That was one of those scenarios. So that's literally the last time I ever spoke to Gabbie Hanna, although she didn't stop talking about me. However, most recently, the thing that has brought me to this point is that Gabbie is doing a series. But not only is she doing a series, she posted a video that apparently isn't part of it that has to do with me and has to do with my rape. And I have repeatedly asked this woman to stop talking about my rape, to stop talking about my trauma, to please leave this out of her narrative of whatever the fuck she wants to talk about with me. Talk about anything you want. Stop talking about that. But this video was so much worse than I ever thought that it could be. I'm going to react to her video and I'm going to show proof that I don't hoard text messages from 2015. Actually, I have my text messages.
Okay, just 1 second. I am going to pee because the Red Bull is kicking in, and then I'm coming back, and we will see her reaction to this video, and we are going to react to her reaction to react to this video. Clear? Okay, just 1 second. Okay, we are back. 1 hour and 46. Oh my god.
Messages set to delete every year because I want storage on my phone, and who needs text messages from over a year ago? Apparently Gabbie. But I'm going to show emails. I'm going to talk about situations that she has blackmailed me with, because that is what she did. She did blackmail me. I understand a lot of people think that I shouldn't talk about this. I saw a lot of tweets of people being like, Jessi, just ignore this person, because if there's anything Gabbie's trying to do with her series, it's get attention in any way, shape, or form. Negative, positive, she does not care. And I understand that me doing this video is possibly giving her what she wants. I don't know for sure. Gabbie has used every opportunity that she's ever talked about me to lie in a really
I don't know what. Dude. Let me change maybe from here to here. I don't know why it's so hard. The light. Better? Kind of. Yeah, but besides this, I wanted to say she just said two things that are so relevant right now. So the her, like Gabbie Hanna, storage of screenshots and messages and tweets and everything, which I think she has like maybe she also said it. I don't remember. So allegedly she said, I don't know, that she, oh sorry, she has like an hard drive of stuff like that or something like that. One and two, I forgot what I was going to say. Let me just hear what she's talking about. Oh my god, I'm all over the place.
possibly giving her what she
today.
wants. I don't know for sure. Gabbie has used every opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. This. So this is why I think that Jessi Smiles didn't and Trisha Paytas, they didn't came back to address what the hell was going on with the allegation and the testimony of Gabbie Hanna, because they know, and Jessi Smiles mostly know that they will just fit into the Gabbie Hanna plan of bringing back attentions, bringing back honestly engagement, not even attention at this point. Why I cannot sleep? Sorry, it was about was a question, a situation. Okay. Sorry. So I agree with her. I agree with the thought of 4 years ago that still two thoughts that still applies today.
that she's ever talked about me to lie in a really, really hurtful way. And so now that she says she has 2 episodes of her series dedicated to me, it's very hard for me to just sit back and be like, it's okay, I'll just see what she says. I don't want to see what she says. I want to post this video, know that my truth is out there and the truth is out there, and then not even watch her series. That's what I want. I'm not going to watch those episodes on me. I don't want to know what she says about me, because this, what we're going to talk about in this video, is everything for me. If she wants to find tweets or something where I wasn't very nice to her in 2016, that's on her. She can do that. I want the truth out there, and I want to be the one to deliver my truth. Gabbie Hanna has, against my will, delivered my truth one too many times, and pardon my French, but she's fucked it up every time. So if Gabbie feels like she can talk about my trauma,
And it's crazy. It's crazy how she is still today delivering her truth, like Jessi Smiles' truth. She's talking about that, calling her now the testimony washed up with the Christian, no, she's not Catholic. She's something else, Christian, uh, gibberish, and it's like she has a pass now because she's Christian. She feels to have a pass because she's Christian, in my opinion. So it's crazy. It's great. And this is why what rewatching this video gives you the opportunity to understand why it's important to still now talk about what she did, what she does, and why she does it. So
she can bring it up. She can talk about the night I was raped, when that has literally nothing to do with this. If she has the right to do that, then I feel like I have the right to be sitting here and talking about what really happened. If at all possible, please watch through the entire video, because if anything, the end and where Gabbie talks about the night I was raped is some of the most sickening shit that I really hope people are made aware of, because what she's doing on this platform is dangerous, and there's no other word to say it. What she has
and this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm rewatching this video. This is why I'm trying. It, I don't know the whole history. Like there's Fat Sajak, which is like a full encyclopedia. How do you say it in English? Like a full. She has a full history on Gabbie Hanna. She knows dates and everything. She's amazing in that because she covered her through the years, so she knows everything. And I'm sorry if I don't have all the informations needed about everything that happened, why, how, but this is why I'm doing this because, as she said 4 years ago, what she does on the platforms is dangerous, and I think now more than ever, she's doing something really, really dangerous, which is s- spitting. Oh, what the hell? Spitting hate and talking shit about people who didn't even address her in the latest time, which didn't even talked about her, didn't even, and still they are not answering her, talking about her in any way, but she's still talking about them and covering, layering everything with Christian quotes and Bible quotes and calling people out in order to find Jesus, which she is, I think, pretty, uh, in my opinion, terrible to do. So, yeah.
has done and what she's continuously being allowed to do to not just myself but many others is dangerous, and she is a dangerous person to have a platform with the way she distributes information and the way she doesn't think about the things that she's putting out there for her followers and the people watching that to process. They don't need to process your shit, Gabbie. You need to process your shit, just like I need to process my shit, so that when we come to the internet to talk about something, we are not unleashing every thought in our brain for someone else to be subjected to. That's not a responsible thing to do with a platform. Be honest, speak your truth, but what you're putting people through with this series is sick, in my opinion. Anyway, this is very long, so let's just get into reacting to Gabbie's video about me.
So this video is not one that was meant to be in the series, but so much has happened since I finished the series, and everybody just wants me to address the Jessi Smiles leaked phone call. I decided, instead of trying to fit more information into the videos I already edited, to just kind of sit down and preface it with this, because it doesn't really come into conversation until the end of part 2. I actually predicted that Jessi was going to leak this phone call in part 2 of her chapter, so I actually did address the phone call in the series, and that's why I didn't want to address it again beforehand, because it was already addressed. I was able to predict what she was going to do because she's predictable.
I have to be honest, I genuinely don't understand this statement at all. Gabbie started creating this series in March. She started filming this series in March. Do you know what I was doing in March? Definitely not talking about Gabbie Hanna. March is actually the month I found out I was pregnant. Me and my family went on vacation to a cabin here in Georgia. It was awesome. I was just enjoying my life and definitely not thinking or talking about Gabbie. So I failed to see how a series that she started filming in March,
Which, by the way, is the same exact thing. Let's say it together. Same exact thing that is happening right now. So back 1 month ago or whatever, she started posting her testimony. Um, no one was talking about her. No one was maybe 2 months because she started on TikTok before. No one was addressing her. No one was. She still had a platform, and this is what honestly makes me cringe every time people say I'm cancelled. No, if you have one follower on your YouTube channel, channel, if you have one follower on TikTok, if you have uh, someone that watches you, someone that you are not canceled. Honestly, canceled people are people who do not have a platform, who cannot have a platform. So that's another thing. Like people don't know the meanings of the words, but whatever. So um I think that what needs to be said about everything is that they, like she and Trisha Paytas, they are all in a whole different state of mind and life than her, Gabbie Hanna, Kroner, Gabrielle. And I think that, in my opinion, this is someone clocked this, but I think the answer to everything, and she even admitted it in a post, I think was a Patreon post, I think. She was like, yeah, I find myself, something like that, along this line. It's not a full quote. Like she says something along the lines of, yeah, I find myself to be envy of them, but I envy them, but I don't want what they have, which is like, huh? Like envy. Do you know the meaning of envy? But in my opinion, honestly, she is trying to uh, drag them to the mud with her testimony, and which I'm going to talk about the because if we say that everyone the feelings of everyone are valid, when she did her first podcast episode, uh talking about how much this affects her into the day-to-day life, I felt really sorry for her, honestly. Maybe because I'm a wuss, I don't know, but I felt that I felt really sorry for her, and each feeling is valid. Each feeling, each experience is valid. But in the same breath, I can say that if something that happened 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 9 years ago, still affects you to this day, I think it's your responsibility to find help, to seek out for help, because you cannot expect others to fix your way of thinking, like, and you cannot expect people to come back and in some way interact with you about something that was like, you can do it in your private, like you can text them. It's not, even if you are a public figure, you don't need to do things publicly every time. Like if you feel that you need to talk about something, you can go and do it privately. Like if after 10 years, I did it, I honestly did it with people. After years and years that something happened, I went to these people, like I did it with one of my ex, and I felt that I needed to say sorry to him for something that happened. But I'm talking about years and years ago. I did it. We talked. We had a face, like a video call. We talked like human people. We exchanged our thoughts. I said sorry, blah blah blah, and I did it, and I felt really really happy. And I think, and I hope that he felt the same too. Like it was fully closure, even if after many many years. You can do that. It helps you process your emotions, and you can do that. People can or cannot allow you to do that, but to do that publicly, to do that after 10 years, I think that you are trying to, uh, if, in my opinion, if she cannot have what they have, money wise, popularity wise, like Trisha Paytas, I think she's going on Broadway. She has a podcast where I don't follow her, so I don't know. But from what I gathered, Jessi Smiles, I think she's, I hope for her, she's living a cute life. She has children. Um, so I think that if she cannot have what they have, she's trying to meddle, come in between uh, their lives and make them miserable again, um, with her testimony or whatever. So this is my thought. And as much as I said every feeling is valid, I also want to say, please leave people alone. Please go to therapy. Please talk to someone. And I know that she said that she tried to talk with many many professionals out there, doctors, and try to be um, diagnosed with stuff, and nobody wanted to diagnose her. Uh, and honestly, I can only say from what I can see, and in my opinion, that it's a little bit concerning, honestly. A little bit concerning. Yeah. So let's go on with the video.
Which now she's admitted I have 2 parts in. So 2 whole videos dedicated to me, how I'm the predictable one. If by predictable you mean that you knew once I saw your series videos on me, which God knows what they're gonna say in them, that I would feel upset and use a phone call that proves that you lied about the relationship that you had to the man that raped me, then yes, I guess it's predictable that I would want to defend myself in a situation where you were gonna release information that either wasn't true or that triggered me.
She's been targeting and attacking me online since 2015. I've learned her patterns when I had to collect evidence for the last.
I'm just seeing now that it's not on time, and this is bothering me.
And it was just very obvious that this was her next move.
What Gabbie doesn't understand is that every single time I have ever spoken about Gabbie, whether I said her name in a video or I did not say her name in a video, it is because she did something that upset me. I have never in my life just gone around saying things about Gabbie that never happened or making things up in the way that she's done to me. I just don't understand why she's making it seem like this is something I love to do when the only time I've ever addressed Gabbie or gotten in fights with Gabbie was because of things that she did. And I don't think she genuinely remembers it that way, because when she's talking like this, I'm like, do you think I just do things out of the blue? Like I just wake up one morning and just want to pick a fight with you? Everything I've ever done is because you provoked it, whether in private or in public. I leaked those phone calls for a very
I think this is point for point, like it touches everything that she's doing, like Gabrielle Kroner Hanna is doing today. Like, do you think that people wake up and came for you? Like, no, she did it. She woke up one day, she said, I'm going to come for Trisha Paytas and Jessi Smiles after 1,000 years that they went on, they moved on. I'm going to come for them. Doesn't matter how, why, doesn't matter. Um, Also the fact that she, every time people respond, like and I think this is classic. Uh, she always says narcissist behavior, blah blah blah, and I think this is classic narcissist behavior, honestly, in my opinion. To come, throw a stone, and then when someone says, "What the hell? What did you throw a stone?" I'm just like, people reacting to your reaction bothers you. You can react, but only you. Other people cannot react. I don't know if I make that clear, but it's crazy. Like, I can talk about my feelings, but you cannot talk about your feelings, because in your feelings I'm involved, because I generated a reaction in you, but you cannot talk because I'm involved. So only me, only me. Which is, girl, come on, move on, just move on.
Specific reason, Gabbie, and that's because you have been talking about me consistently for the last year, publicly. After last summer, when you completely annihilated me online, when I was not even retaliating for 99% of it, I just learned to drop it. Like, I didn't want to deal with you anymore. And then you make a video on my son's birthday where you're talking about all the people that have wronged you, and you say stories about me because you talk about the person you used to live with, which is me, and you're just saying all these insane allegations, and everybody's going over to my Instagram page on my son's birthday and being like, oh, you're such a horrible mother, I feel horrible for your children. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then fast forward to when you go on Drama Alert and you're talking to Keemstar, a man who has repeatedly not just told me I wasn't raped, he has literally joked about my rape, and on multiple occasions just says, oh, it's very hard to believe because they were dating, which we weren't, but it shouldn't matter. This man has harassed me online for years. Gabbie knows this. He is an infamous misogynist and a rape apologist and overall horrible human being. And Gabbie goes on his show to talk about me and Trisha Paytas, to promote a song she wrote for Trisha Paytas that Trisha Paytas didn't even want her.
I forgot about this. I forgot about I forgot about this. Really, really, honestly. By the way, just to say, I like Gabbie Hanna. We did that blonde thing, hair. She was spot on. But I am flying into the space right now because I don't know why she always comes for them together. Like it's like a combo that she cannot take apart. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Her to write. And I ignored that. I just said, fuck it, whatever, shitty thing to do, I'm gonna keep it pushing. But when a BuzzFeed reporter just last month reaches out to me and says, hey, I had an interview with Gabbie and she spoke a lot about you.
And
Would you be willing to
this is what I think, and I really, really hope that they won't bait. They won't take the bait on this. If something similar to this BuzzFeed article interview things happens right now, I hope not, because this what is happening with the Gabbie Hanna does not have the same traction that had back then, like the views and the engagement, blah blah blah. It's not the same, thank God. But if something similar to this happens, I think both her and Trisha Paytas will have the thought to answer to everything that is going on, and I really hope it won't happen, because they went so far without being like, yeah, she spoke, but then she moved on talking about other shit, honestly. And I really hope this day won't come, but back then it came, and this is why this video of 4 years ago is happening.
answer questions. And for you in that article to say, oh, I think it's a little chaotic that I haven't gotten apologies from people like Jessi Smiles, when you know that you were on a phone call with me a year ago threatening me that if I didn't do what you wanted, which includes apologizing to you publicly, you were going to talk about our past publicly in an effort to hurt me. So when I hear you talk about me apologizing to you and how you feel it's a little chaotic that I haven't apologized to you, or when I read that you were never friends with Curtis and that you always sided with me, you just always believed me, and people just start rumors about you, about the Curtis situation every time you're releasing music, which is something you've said I've done for a long time now.
And I'm promoting my project like crazy, and you're gonna put my name in your fucking thumbnail, bringing up a fucking dramatic lie, a hate campaign that you fucking started. 5 months you don't post, but I'm posting a project and you have to say, did Gabbie apologize?
Yeah, it pissed me off, Gabbie, because you're still lying. I'm gonna move on now, but I just find it ridiculous that she acts like she's some sort of genius for seeing into the future and knowing that I was gonna use this phone call. Gabbie, when you push people and push people and push people and then proceed to dedicate 2 episodes to them in a series, yeah, they just might defend themselves. You're not a genius for figuring out that I was gonna use that phone call in which you admit that you've been lying for the last year to defend myself.
Jessi showed 7 to 10 minutes, I believe, of a over 3 hour phone call that she quite literally threatened me into having, obviously, because it was an over 3 hour phone call. It was very heavily edited and rearranged. I know that she said that it was only edited for brevity and that it didn't change the context, which I think would be really impossible to do out of a 3 hour phone call. And also I don't believe that she edited it for brevity because she left in a lot of her crying. I think that she edited it to evoke an emotional response because she's talking about something that is very emotional.
I have to say, that's insulting, Gabbie, at the very least. I'm not sure if Gabbie understands what editing something down for brevity means, but everything I included was completely in context. We would talk about the tweets, for instance, her tweets defending Curtis, and then she would deflect. If you've heard the phone call by now, you know, she would deflect and be like, well, we need to move on to something else. And then like an hour later, we'd talk again about the tweets. And for brevity, aka shortness of time, I had to put all the parts where we were talking about our tweets and you were addressing them together. What would have been taking it out of context would have been taking a part of the phone call where you weren't talking about the tweets and then inserting it next to the parts where you're talking about the tweets. That did not happen. And about the crying thing, Gabbie, I find it interesting that Gabbie views me leaving in the part of me crying as me trying to invoke an emotional response. I'm not even sure who thinks like that. When people are emotional, do you think that they're just trying to manipulate people? She thought the same thing about my 2019 video, that I'm trying to manipulate with my emotions. And I just don't know why she thinks of people that way, why she thinks of human beings that way. When I see a human being being...
And with this, I think it's important to address the fact that what should, like, I remember when she posted, I watched it years after, honestly, but when she posted the series talking about the rice gums, rice gums, I don't know how the guy his name, situation, and she was crying about what happened to her and how she was made fun of about from this guy. And I am honest, every time I open my mouth I'm honest. When I saw that video that uh, I think was a TikTok. What the hell was? No, it was on YouTube. Sorry. I was really, really sorry for her. I was emotional because she was crying about what happened, and I will never think, oh, she's doing that. Still now, honestly, I will never think, oh, this person is crying out of views. Um, then maybe after I will find out that some type of videos where people are crying are just made up for views and engagement, whatever. And I'm like, oh damn, I'm the dumb person who uh, got caught into the emotion, feelings, engagement, or stuff like that. But whatever, I am what I am after all. But I would never say to someone, you left that part there because you wanted to seek out for um engagement, and you wanted to evoke some things to people watch. That's so out of being that's so being out of touch, in my opinion. Like, this woman went to a traumatic experience in her life, and this is the first things that comes up in your mind. I don't know. I don't know.
being vulnerable and crying, I empathize with them. I understand they're hurting. I don't know why she sees it as some sort of manipulation tactic when it's just what it was. Like, I was just crying because I was hurt. I was having a panic attack. It had to do with the situation involving Curtis, which is why it was left in. That phone call did not see the light of day until a year later, when I just felt so frustrated and pushed in a corner.
So I'm just going to drop the full phone call below. I have absolutely nothing to hide, and I'm so confident in that I didn't even listen to it back. I sent it to my editor, and I told him to only censor names, and I asked him to remove one particular story that it's my story, and it's traumatizing and humiliating, and I did not want it in the public eye.
I fully respect that Gabbie does not want a part of the phone call where she was speaking about something traumatic to be public. I would never speak on someone's trauma, especially when they don't want me to. I just find it really fucking ironic that less than 20 minutes later, she's gonna be talking in detail about my rapist and about the night I was raped, and talking about consent revolving my rape, the one I've asked you to stop talking about repeatedly.
So I tell the story, the edit picks up directly after that. You'll also hear me apologize to Jessi Smiles very many times on the phone call.
Spoiler alert, if you've heard the 3-hour phone call, you will not hear her apologizing to Jessi Smiles very many times. The times that she apologized to me, I had to give her a lecture on how Dr. Phil says that any apology with the word but after it is not an apology at all, because those were the only things that resembled an apology that she gave me. Everything was my fault. I needed to apologize to her for everything. That is the phone call. I'm not saying I was perfect. I don't like how I handled myself. I lost my cool at certain parts, but don't you dare say that you apologized to me very many times. It did not happen.
You'll also hear Jessi say that I apologized to her face about the tweets from the day the article dropped.
You apologized 2 months later in March 2014 to me at a New York Bi meetup that I'm sorry about the tweet that was wrong.
And that's when and how we became friends and met, actually. That was used as evidence by Jessi and her friends that I did actually defend my best friend's rapist the day that the article dropped, which is a very manipulative thing to say because I had never met her. I never met Curtis. I was barely a creator at the time. I was still working my marketing job.
Yes, Gabbie, you apologized for making tweets that were supporting my rapist and calling me a liar and being disgusting on the day that the TMZ article was dropped. We did not know each other at the time she made those tweets, and then we met a couple months later at a Vine meetup in New York. She came up to me in a hotel room and she said I should have never made those tweets. And I said, you know what? It's fine. Don't worry about it. We proceeded to become friends. Yes, Gabbie, you apologized to me and I forgave you. However, if I do some heinous shit and I hurt someone and I apologize to them and they say it's okay, and then 5 years later, 6 years later, however many years later, I say, I never did that. What are you talking about?
This was the day the story broke, and I hadn't seen the article yet. Whatever he tweeted, I genuinely have no idea what his tweet was. I remember I responded with a current Vine meme, which was a Big Sean Lil Wayne song, Beware, beware, beware of a woman with a broken heart. So that was a Vine meme. For those of you who were on Vine at the time, you remember it. I don't remember what he said. Obviously, it had nothing to do with the rape case. So that was that day before I ever saw it. The tweet is deleted because I was like, oh shit, I didn't understand context of anything about this, and that's why it's gone. Because I didn't stand by what it said once I understood the context context of everything that was happening.
That is called taking back your apology. Your apology no longer exists because you went on an entire campaign saying, I never tweeted in support of Curtis Lepore. I never defended Curtis Lepore. That has been your stance since the beginning of when all of this got outed. But you'll see, she brings up multiple times how she apologized to me. That apology was retracted the second you started denying you ever did anything that needed an apology in the first place.
I apologized to Jessi on Twitter in 2019 after her Gabbie Hanna needs to be stopped video was posted. That was after she was tweeting that I was a shitty person, and then liking tweets and replying to tweets that made it very obvious that it was about me.
This is a theme with Gabbie. She really cannot handle people subtweeting her or liking tweets that are not praising her. It was an issue she had with Brandon Calvillo.
You called or you text me and you're like, no, like why the fuck did you like that tweet? And I was like, first I didn't know how you did that so quickly. Like that was the thing I didn't know.
You said to me, you were just like, what's wrong with you that you're like stalking my legs on Twitter? And I was like, we're both verified.
From my point of view, you came at me very hard.
I'm
like,
sure I did.
You said, what the fuck did you like that? Like, you're a piece of shit, like you're a loser.
I don't think I said
you
that.
said I'm a piece of shit.
Not off the bat.
It was an issue she had with Oscar Wilde.
I don't really know why you have a problem with me liking somebody, what verified account has to do with anything. You're very obsessed with numbers.
She cannot handle people liking anything that is not in her favor or saying anything about her, even if you don't say her name. And you're gonna see a common theme of that because the majority of what Gabbie Hanna has on me that she's gonna show in her series are subtweets or places in videos where I was mentioning someone and I don't even say a name and she either assumes it's about her or even if it was about her, like I had a story time channel. It's just so much nonsense. It's really nonsense. And I'm not just saying that to downplay anything. I'm saying that as like subtweets and tweets that people like is not like cold hard evidence, Gabbie. It's just what people do on Twitter.
And after I apologized on Twitter, she talked about me on Kathleen Light's channel.
I personally know what you're doing. I'm not taking anything to the internet. If we had anything meaningful, I just I could be like, yes, me, nothing, Jessi didn't even bring it to the internet because there are things she didn't talk about. Things that we don't know about. Girl, shut up.
The thing that bothers me so much about addressing all of this is that my issues with Gabbie are very hurtful, very painful, dark, traumatic. And then she brings out things like this. And it's like, you see, Jessi was shit talking me on Kathleen Light's channel. Did you watch that and really compare that to what we're talking about right now? We're talking about you were friends with a man who raped me and lied about it. And you're talking about I was having a mukbang with Kathleen and I told her to shut up because we brought, oh my gosh. Really quickly, I want to add because she keeps talking about like, I apologized and then Jessi went to go talk shit. You apologized because you felt cornered. You did not apologize because you meant it. And the way that I know that for a fact is as soon as my video went up, you messaged a 15-year-old girl and told her how isolated being my friend made you feel. And that's probably why you told me that Curtis's friends didn't rape me. And you called the situation surrounding my rape, all of the public fallout, all of the bashing, the death threats I've received, the horrendous messages I've received, the shit that I've suffered. You called that rape drama. That is what she chose to do before she apologized. So forgive me, Gabbie, if I didn't buy your apology, because every apology you've ever given me over the years, you've either retracted it or you've proven that you don't mean it. So I'm sorry I went on Kathleen's channel and
The crazy thing about everything right now is that even if she did like it's history that repeats itself over and over and over and over again. And I'm talking about her putting out an apology like what's her name? Apology. This apology, like a long overdue apology, which was published 1 year ago. 1 year ago, and this aged like milk. I'm not going to give you any spot, obviously, as the sponsor is Italian cheese. We're so Italian, always thinking about food. Obviously with some Jesus-y quote, a Christian quote, whatever. And this aged like freaky milk. Oh, I'm sorry. This aged like see, mind you, she backed at it again, bringing up old drama that no one has talked about in years. The apology means nothing. And this is always, always, always what she does. And she did it. She continues. She did it now. She will do it tomorrow, and so on and so forth.
joked after your apology.
Not everybody obviously has to do it on a public domain. That's my last resort. That was after many years of trying to solve things privately.
Gabbie has this theme of thinking that because people are being nice to her or having civil conversations with her, that we love her and we praise her and we would never say a bad thing about her. Gabbie is an extremely difficult person to deal with privately. Not if you're praising her, not if you're telling her she's the most beautiful, wonderful, thoughtful human being you've ever met. But if you have any issue with Gabbie, it is extremely difficult and scary. I know a lot of people have used that word to describe her. It is the perfect word to describe her. She bombards you. She will hit you below the belt, tell you some of the most hurtful shit you have ever heard from another human being. So for you to put like, oh, she asked me for work, it's covered in the series. Gabbie, you've already put all those text messages in your last video. It doesn't do anything. I was nice to you. okay?
She also continued to like tweets that were about me, respond to tweets that were about me, respond to comments that were about me, and just continue the perpetual public shitting on me.
I have not shit on you publicly nearly as hard as you have shit on me. You have shit on me like nobody else has shit on me. The only person that's shit on me publicly like you is Curtis Lepore. It's again with the theme of people can't like tweets that are against you. Gabbie, I don't like you. I didn't seem to get the memo where we can only like tweets that are in support of Gabbie Hanna on Twitter.
This does not include any of the times that I apologized to Jessi every time she blackmailed me, threatened me,
And
talked about
honestly, 4 years ago, she was like, I get, I get it to see people liking things regarding you, yourself, or your situation and feeling upset. But as a grown ass woman, to continuously, and I thought while watching this video, I thought, wait a minute, was it maybe something like this that spiked her to make this series about her testimony, talking shit about Trisha? I know that she said that people still now uh, in real life go to her and talk about what happened and her like mental breakdown, and talking about asking about her about Trisha Paytas, Jessi Smiles, whatever. But first things first, you are a public figure. You wanted to be a public figure, and you still want to be a public figure because you are making a podcast with your husband. You want to make music for sure, that's okay. But you are still going hard on being a public figure. So being like, I know that I have like 5 subscribers, I know, but I'm putting myself out there. And if one of these videos, if one of my art videos blows up and I become a public figure, I am doing it. I am putting myself out there. So if someone comes to me and says some stupid shit to me, I will own it. I won't say like, "Oh no, why this is happening to me? I'm so like poor, baby loss." Like, no, I'm putting myself out there. So either you don't know how to manage your public life, public figure life, or either you want to use every excuse possible to be the victim, honestly.
me in a YouTube video, tweeted about me, reached out to somebody about me.
We're gonna get into the blackmail and threats because she goes into it again in a little bit, so hold for that one. But again, with the tweets and mentioning you in videos, Gabbie, not only did I have a storytime channel, you had a storytime channel. How many times have you mentioned someone on your channel that didn't want to be mentioned, that didn't ask to be mentioned in a storytime? That's how they work. Not only is it completely my right to say whatever the hell I want on my channel, sure, you can feel how you want to feel about it, but I can do and say what I want on my channel, much like you're doing and saying whatever you want, despite 90% of the internet begging you to stop right now. So not only is that my right, but if you've heard the phone call, you hear multiple times where she accuses me.
Which, by the way, 90% of the internet is doing the same thing now, 4 years after this, begging her to stop and either go back and talk about her Christian thing, and doing that, or either just going off the internet because clearly it's not something for her. Um, and I want to make it very, very clear the fact that she came back to the internet, like I guess I think on TikTok or whatever, and she was making videos about her Christian finding whatever. Nobody was talking about her. Nobody was bothered. Nobody was, yeah, you do whatever you want. And she even says this into sorry, you're watching the okay. And she even says that this into one of the video podcasts, TikTok, I don't know. She makes so much content, honestly. Where she says, yeah, back 2 months ago, I was doing whatever I wanted, and there was no one coming for me. But then she started making video addressing Brooke Monks, and then talking again about Trisha Paytas, and then talking about Jessi Smiles and whatever. And people were coming for her, and she was like, why then all of a sudden, my public response changed. Girl, if you talk about people, people will talk about you. If you just stick to your Christian thing, nobody will talk about you. If you stick to your yoga or your art, singing, wherever, nobody will. But obviously, in my opinion, if you don't talk about others, if you don't uh, pour a little bit of drama into your life, you won't have traction. And drama channels give traction. So, yeah.
Of talking about her in a YouTube video, and I'm just like, Gabbie, that was not about you.
So fast forward to June 2021, Jessi, unprovoked, released a very highly edited and manipulated version of the phone call. And in posting it, she said something along the lines of, I'm tired of the back and forth. I just want to be left alone. Where was the back and forth? We went to my Twitter, my Instagram, my YouTube. There was no back and forth. This is something that Jessi likes to do a lot. She drops an atomic bomb and then she says, leave me alone, leave me alone. And I'm like, I think what she was considering a back and forth was that I was asked about her in a BuzzFeed article. And I said that I already apologized to her. And to her, that warranted the response of leaking a private phone call as a way to hurt me.
As we've already discussed, this was not unprovoked. Multiple times you have brought this situation up. You know what it is to blackmail a person, to threaten them when their family member is in the hospital, and then be like, well, I just mentioned you a couple times after that. Why are you so upset? I'm upset because you've put me through hell this last year, Gabbie. Only Gabbie could do an entire article talking about every single one of her controversies. And when one of those controversies comes back to bite her in the ass, act surprised by that. That was not an article about your music. That was not an article about just what you're up to in life. And then maybe you mentioned something. No, that was an article where you were provoking every single person that you've had an issue with. And you thought nothing was going to come of that?
Dude, like, why am I being asked about Jessi?
2026, still the same MO, still the same MO. And I think we need to hear it from Jessi Smiles because she went on with this woman for so long. And I think everything she's touching, every point she's like, we are going to check, 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 check on the list. So, do we need to hear more? Do we need to? We know what's coming. We know what she will do. And then right now, I saw that she said on Patreon, I'm going to leave, but I'm not going to leave in reality because other people will post stuff for me. So basically, she's not like she's leaving. The fact that she's not checking her phone 32 times per second, I think I'm not sure, but this is what I imagine every time. Um, but there will be other people who will post for her, and in in a way, I think that's okay. I think that's good. In another way, I think this would be the reason for another comeback of her. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but we're checking everything on the list, huh? Check, 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 check.
Jessi Smiles in a BuzzFeed article because Jessi Smiles made sure that I would be asked about her for the rest of my fucking career, probably.
You have every right in an interview, Gabbie, especially a BuzzFeed interview, to say, I am not going to talk about this, this, and that. If you don't want to talk about your affiliation with Curtis Support or me ever again, you don't have to. Don't allow an interviewer to ask you about it. And guess what? Maybe the people that you've hurt will stop being so fucking upset and then we can all move on with our life. But don't pretend that I'm just here waiting for a moment where you mention Curtis when nowadays the only time I hear Curtis's name is when you're talking about it. Do you know how long I have worked and I have had to overcome shit to stop hearing that man's name every corner I turned? I left Vine when I had 3.6 million followers and no clue how I was going to make money because that was literally my only means of income at the time. And I left because I was sick and tired of hearing Curtis's name and being told that he should have killed me and that I'm too ugly to rape or that he didn't rape me. I was sick and tired of that. And so I left that app and I built myself an entire new audience. And even when I've talked about it over the years, a lot of my followers are survivors and I have a very compassionate and understanding follower base. And I'm very, very grateful for that because I didn't have that for a long time. And I thought I had gotten over that point where I couldn't talk about Curtis without being bashed. You know, for a long time I could talk about it and I had people supporting me. After Me Too, everything changed. People actually started fucking listening and having compassion. And I was like, wow, I can actually talk about what happened with me without being fucking bashed or hearing Curtis's name in a taunting way or oh, he didn't fucking do this to you and just horrendous shit until Gabbie Hanna. You bring up the Curtis situation to paint me as a liar, to paint it as if I start rumors about you.
I want to underline the fact that lots of people are talking about right now regarding Gabbie Hanna, and I'm completely, I do completely agree with them, such as the fact that she always comes for women, in my opinion. She always comes for women and for gay people, um, which for me is crazy because, as Jessi Smiles said, like you can again, you cannot like someone. Like, you don't like Jessi Smiles. Okay, perfect. Fine. You can talk shit about Jessi Smiles. Just talk shit about her. Don't talk shit about her experiences. Don't talk shit about something really traumatic that happened to her. That's really low, low, low to do. Not only as a person, but as a woman, honestly. To come for another woman and to talk uh, about something that you didn't experience yourself. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. So I am really, 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 really on board with the fact that she never comes. The only straight man straight that she came for was Rice Gum, but because that really affected her deeply. Otherwise, she won't come for it. And still today, it's not something that, like, you can talk about how much that affected you because that was an assault, that was a traumatic experience, not only the experience, but what came after, from what she says in the first video that she made about this. You should talk about that extensively. You can talk about that extensively, but instead you decide to talk about women who wronged you in some way, and gay men, such as Joy Grossefa, Daniel Prada, Peter Monn, Adam McIntyre. So yeah.
You when you're releasing music. You tell people that I am a liar, that I'm malicious, that I abuse you, and you don't think that's a back and forth? You don't see how that pushes someone? You don't see how fucking upsetting it is that the only time I have to hear about Curtis Lepore is out of your mouth now? And out of your fans' mouths? You could have addressed the situation honestly, and none of this would have happened. In 2019, screw the apology. You could have just been honest and said, yes, I did defend Curtis in 2014, and you know what? I should have never done that, and I shouldn't have provided Jessi's personal text messages and information about her medication and her trauma as an effort to convince this person that I never defended Curtis, because I actually did defend Curtis. Anything, Gabbie, and this would have been done. But because you cannot just accept the part that you have in situations, the ways that you've genuinely hurt people, you have pushed it as far as this, and you're acting surprised by it.
Trust me, I also don't want to be asked about Jessi in a BuzzFeed article. I have a career in entertainment. I do press. I'm allowed to talk about my life. This is something that has become a huge part of my story, much to my dismay. But it's not right for you to be able to say whatever you want, and then
Not my story, my testimony. Watch it.
I can't be asked about it. I can't respond about it. I can't defend myself. I can't share my side of the story.
Not only is it not your story to tell, as I think most people would understand that, but when every time you bring it up or you address it, you lie and you say a different story. Oh, I never defended him. Oh, but I did, but I forgot about that. Or I never interacted with him. Oh, actually I did. I went to dinner with him, but that I didn't remember that. That is enough. Unless you're just going to address.
And today the story is, I'm going to talk about these women because they slandered me. They are slender. Or they are, what do you say? What she say? Narcissistic abusers, something like that. Bad words all the time. So back 10 years ago was something, 4 years ago was something else. Today is her testimony, slanderers. So every 1 to 2 years this changes. So yeah, this is interesting. This is why I'm rewatching this and sharing, honestly, because this is this is the real testimony, honestly. So yeah.
It to admit the truth without trying to deflect and say I'm the one in the wrong, and actually own up to the part that you've had in not only doing the things that you've done, but lying about them and causing people to harass me over your lies. Unless you're going to do that, then yeah, I think it is fair to say stop talking about anything that has to do with me and Curtis Lepore. And I have asked you multiple times, this is a traumatic situation. I do not want to talk about this anymore, and I certainly don't want to be talking about it to have to rectify the lies that you've told. It's not fair. So you are allowed to respond in any way you see fit. But when you lie about it, I'm allowed to tell you that I don't want you talking about it anymore. You don't have to oblige. You don't have to listen to me, but that makes you a shitty person. And that's just what it is.
I was asked about her because since 2015, Jessi has made it her mission to align me with her And finally, in 2019, it worked, and that's been my life ever since.
That is the sickest shit I've ever heard. I have made it my mission to align you with my rapist. Like, I just woke up one day and really wanted you to have anything to do with my rapist. You think that it didn't fucking kill me? That you've had dinner with him, you've been to parties with him, you have had conversations where you've asked him about his side of that night? I wanted that? Do you understand how sick that fucking sounds?
And I know to the viewer, it may seem like a back and forth, but that's because you don't see what I don't respond to. You only see what I respond to. You don't see the hundreds of thousands of views that go missing off of her channel when she posts a video about me.
When I posted my video about Gabbie, I did not expect for it to garner the attention that it garnered. It was very, very intense for me. Over 6 million people have seen that video that I posted about Gabbie, which is an insane and
which is crazy. But today, this same video is a 6.6 million. But this is not the thing that I want to talk about. She's doing now the same thing that back then she was accusing Jessi Smiles of doing. Like, she's using this drama about Jessi Smiles, about Trisha Paytas, for views. And the fact that she's talking publicly about this, and if she gathers views, that's okay. But if others, and she's using the same technique talking about drama channels, drama channels talk about me in order to have views. Girl, you're doing the same. So just stop putting a mask on to be like, I am the fair one. I am the one who never did anything wrong. You're doing the same. Just face it. Still another check on the list.
an extremely intimidating number. And full disclosure, there's a lot of videos I don't like on my channel. Frankly, I wish I could delete all my story times, but I feel like my followers would be very upset with me. I don't like that era of my life. I don't like how I talked about people, even when I was trying to be funny. I never disrespected people on purpose or were like, oh, this fucking person, I hate this person. But even in the ways I tried to make things funny, I'm like, Jessi, ew, because it's just not who I am anymore. So yeah, when I posted my video about Gabbie, there were videos both with Gabbie that I didn't want up anymore. And there were videos that I just looked at and I was like, ew, gross. And I privated them. It's not a mystery, Gabbie. I was being overly cautious because way more people than I thought were going to see my video saw my video. And so I kind of panicked and was like, wait, I don't want them to see this story time or this story time because what the fuck, that's embarrassing. I don't even understand what the point of bringing that up is, but sure. Yes, I privated some videos when I posted my video about Gabbie.
You don't see the hundreds of tweets that she mass unliked. You don't see the tweet and delete.
First of all, the tweet that you're putting up, everybody's seen it. Furthermore, mass unlike tweets? How does someone even do that? I'm not joking. How do you mass unlike tweets? I'm so confused. I've never done that in my life. Full disclosure, that did not happen.
You don't see the voice messages and the text that she sends me, threatening me, crossing my boundaries, that I'm setting firmly, and telling me that if I don't do what she wants, that she's going to put out another video with more evidence. And the evidence being tweets that I deleted in 2014.
I mean, anybody that can read saw on the screen I was not threatening Gabbie. Why do you put up text and then say something completely different? What if someone's not able to look at the screen? What if they're doing laundry while they're watching your video and now they believe I threatened you with evidence? It's irresponsible. It's just an irresponsible way to deliver information.
I'm saying this with my whole fucking chest, and I'm past the point of needing or wanting people to believe me. I'm saying
The line about being irresponsible, putting out information, I think it's the synthesis, uh, what she's doing right now, in my opinion, because right now she's using drama from back 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, talking about people who are not interacting, rightfully so, with everything she's putting out. So she's talking about Trisha Paytas and Jessi Smiles and other people. Nobody is, honestly, thank God for the drama channel who are balancing the madness here, in my opinion. She's putting out information regarding her testimony, saying what happened, why this happened, how she was affected by it, but she's not putting out all the informations. And this is dangerous because I am aware of lots of people like who's that guy, like Jeffree Star, who are on the TikTok app, and they gathered a whole new audience onto their profiles, barfing so much. They gather a lot of new public, and there are people who don't know them, or maybe who don't know all this. So maybe they Google them, they see, okay, there's a little bit of controversy about this, about that, but they did not live those controversy. They don't know the whole story, the whole word, every word who was put it out and such like that. So That's dangerous. And I'm not saying, oh, she needs to say, yeah, I'm talking shit about Trisha Paytas because this happened, blah blah blah. I think it's also the responsibility of people listen. Like if I follow someone, if I interact with someone, I try to search for them, to look every post on their profile, but obviously something can like go under or you can miss some informations. So this is why I am glad of the coverage that each and every one of the drama channels, mostly the ones that I follow, which I really really recommend to look at, Peter Monn, Adam McIntyre, and Fat Sajak, also Paige Christie, sorry, which are doing the God's work, talking about God, you know, of putting out all the informations. Because if you are the one taking out the information, someone else needs to fill the blanks. So another check on the list. Let's go.
Saying it for me. This is the truth. Jessi is my abuser. Since 2015, I've been the victim of narcissistic abuse, blackmail, harassment, stalking, slander, smear campaigns, gaslighting, threats of physical violence.
All the checks on the list of 2026 are done. So she just reminded us of all the words that she used now. Perfect.
And online harassment since March of 2015.
I'm gonna try to do this and I'm gonna try to not get so fucking angry, but it is so beyond irresponsible as a creator with a platform your size to accuse every single person that you don't like, that you've had issues with, and that you've hurt of abusing you, of being narcissist.
This isn't me starting drama. This is me responding to abuse since 2018. She inserted herself into this. I was speaking about my poetry and a situation involving my poetry and talking about the unfair criticism that women get, and Angelica inserted herself and said that it wasn't fair for me to call my bully a bully, because that's what narcissistic, gaslighting, abusive people do. She's not a fucking artist. I don't care about her fucking opinion, because she has no accomplishments in art or has proven to me that she's actually intellectual enough to understand art. I accept my criticism from talented, smart people, not abusive, toxic, exploitative bullies on YouTube.
You're now saying I blackmailed you, I threatened you. Let's get into that. I'm gonna go into what Gabbie Hanna considers blackmail. I'm gonna talk about that situation, where she thinks I blackmailed her. And I'm gonna go into the physical violence. I honestly don't know what she means with threats, other than her probably thinking that in a story time, I threatened that I was gonna say something else. The connections, I can't connect them. Okay, so I'm gonna get into what I can tangibly touch and explain, because everything else at this point feels erratic and confusing. So in order to talk about the physical violence accusation, we're gonna have to talk about a situation that is kind of long. It all ties in together. I promise. Bear with me. I know, I'm sorry. This is awful. I dated a guy in 2015 and his name was Richie. He's a very sweet guy. We're on good terms still. He's a friend of mine. But during our relationship, there was a few things that Gabbie did that made me feel uncomfortable. One of them, she actually made a story time about, and it was when I had a rooftop barbecue with a bunch of friends, and her and Richie sat across from each other the entire night and shared wine, like literally drinking from the wine bottle just between them two. They did not mingle or talk to anyone else virtually the entire night, and it made me feel uncomfortable. And as much as Gabbie in her story time paints it as me being insane for feeling uncomfortable about that situation,
Now, I have admitted in the past that I myself have had some crazy bitch moments. Everyone has crazy bitch moments. Even the calmest, most level-headed Mother Teresa, deep breath, clear-minded person in the world has her crazy bitch moments. But there is a huge astronomical difference between having crazy bitch moments and being a crazy bitch. Sometimes it's hard to believe now here where I am in my life that I ever put up with this type of behavior, the amount of stories that I have. That's kind of my issue.
How the tables have turned. How the tables. Sorry. Go
That I
on.
learned about myself thanks to a year of therapy is I seek out like emotionally unstable, neurotic people, and I try to fix them. So like I said, I have a lot of stories about this friend in particular, but I think that this is the first one where I was like, oh, you're psychotic.
let's just get into the story a little bit so you can see my vibe was not
Ooh.
off. Fast forward, me and Richie
Ooh.
break up, and it was not great in the beginning. Our breakup was pretty messy, honestly. Around that same time, I had gone to Oprah's Life You Want weekend. It was a very life-changing weekend for me. I realized a lot of things, but one of the main things that I realized was I didn't want to be friends with Gabbie Hanna anymore. There was no big thing that happened, no big fight that could explain everything. I just felt like our relationship was toxic. I felt like she contributed a lot of negativity into my life, and I'm not just saying this to like be a bitch, but there was multiple times where people in my life who lived with me would tell me, hey, let me know when Gabbie's coming over so I can stay in my room. Like there was a negative presence, and I just didn't want that in my life anymore. I found myself talking more shit than I've ever talked in my entire life, getting into drama. So I texted her and I said, hey, I don't want to be friends anymore. And I've had this moment with multiple friends. You know, everybody can have a time in their relationship.
And honestly, let me just break it down a little bit because I had the same moments too. And please do that. Please, let's bring that back because right now I'm seeing lots of people around me who have shitty friendship and do not have the courage, the willing power to just drop it. Just drop it. Just move on. You would be fine. Everything would be fine. So this was the top moment of the live, because honestly, good for her back then and good for her right now. Looking back, she should be really, really happy about her decision, honestly.
Where it's like, this isn't working out. And I've always said this, but the way that a person responds when you tell them, hey, this is not working, you know, it's a negative thing for both of us, the way that they respond in that moment says everything about them. And obviously I can't get into details because I don't have the text messages, but the gist of it was she told me I needed therapy. She told me that I cut everyone out of my life, that it's a pattern in my life, and that I was gonna end up alone pretty much. So that was awful. And it was a pretty bad falling out. Fast forward a little more, I go to a bar and I see a guy that Gabbie had dated. Mind you, I was friends with him way before Gabbie dated him. And he showed up at the bar because he's friends with the people I'm friends with. He came up to me, he said, hey, where's Gabbie? And I said, and I quote, I don't know, I'm not friends with her anymore. To which he responded, oh, good, she's crazy, she scares me. That is what he said. And I don't know if him saying that, maybe he thought I was gonna tell Gabbie, but he went to Gabbie and told her that I talked shit about her. And I didn't do that. I did say we're not friends. I laughed when he said she was crazy. I did do that, but we did not even harp on that. Like everyone else just got drunk and we all had a good night. Like I said, I guess he told her that I talked shit about her. I don't know, but she decided to
And even if this happened, and even if I talk shit about someone who I'm not friends anymore, the right answer to everything should be, yeah, fuck it. I'm not friends with that person anymore. I don't care about their opinion. If you are mature enough.
contact my ex-boyfriend Richie. And I know this because he called me one day and said, hey, can you please come to my house? And I was like, why? And he told me he wanted to talk to me. And I went to his house and he showed me text messages from Gabbie. She literally told him that I was horrible. She told him I was a slut. She told him that I cheated on him or that I slept with someone as soon as I broke up with him. And it gets worse because then she proposes that they have sex with each other. And he agreed. Although I was upset with both of them for this, I was more upset with Gabbie because she would have never told me. Richie told me because he has a fucking heart and he has a conscience. And he was like, I'm sorry. I don't know why the fuck I put myself in this situation. I would never have sex with her. I saw the text messages where she tried to execute having sex with him, saying, hey, what are you doing tonight? And he's like, I have work early tomorrow. And when I confronted Gabbie about this, specifically about the part where she calls me a slut, she said that she called me that because that's what everyone says about me. This was my best friend. This was someone that I trusted, that I just let into my life. And all a fucking long, she was just judging me. So the times in the messages where you admit to telling him I'm a slut and all that stuff, that never happened either, right? Every single time that her and I have ever spoken about this, she continues to say, well, Jessi, if I wanted to do it, I could have done it. So just get over it.
I did not try to have sex with Richie because if I wanted to, I would have when he asked me.
Oh, there it is. There it is. The favorite sentence you say in the emails. If I wanted to, I could have. Anyway, as I was saying.
If I wanted to have sex with Richie, I would. So stop telling people I tried to fuck your boyfriend when I did.
So fast forward to a couple months later, after that took place, and I make a video called People I Hate. This video was like a pet peeves video. It was me talking about like, oh, I hate when people at the airport do this and that. Like it wasn't an actual People I Hate video. I don't know if the part where I say YouTubers who say welcome back, that bothers me. I didn't even know she said welcome. That's 90% of YouTube. And then also I said when girls
I do say welcome back. I would keep saying that.
call you their best friend right away and like leech onto you, which was not the case with Gabbie at all. We had a very like steady friendship and it was mutual. We both called each other our best friend. Like it's just, I don't know what she thought was about her in that. But again, Gabbie wants to talk about patterns. It's a pattern with Gabbie to believe that things that are not about her are about her. And so she took that video, thought I was talking about her, and ran with it. She contacted Richie and she asked him if he would be in a video with her exposing me. For what? God knows what. But exposing me nonetheless. She literally asked him to sit next to her and expose me. I lost my shit when Richie called me and told me that. Richie is not your pawn to fuck with me, Gabbie. Fast forward a couple weeks after that, we had VidCon, and I knew I might run into Gabbie, and I had to mentally prepare myself for that because I was completely pissed. I arrive at VidCon, I go into the lobby, and I talk to a mutual manager of ours. And she was talking to me about getting all settled in and stuff. And before I left, tells me, oh, by the way, Gabbie was just here. She was looking for you. I just played it off, and I kept it pushing. And then a couple hours later, at a cocktail hour, I was told again by someone that you were looking for me. And I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking upset. I could not understand how you had the audacity to look for me so much when you knew that we were having an issue because you had just tried to recruit my ex-boyfriend to be in an exposed video about me. So you weren't looking for me to play patty cake. You were looking for me to either talk something out or start conflict. I don't know what. Fast forward even more. I think it might have been the next night. I went to a party and I was drunk. No excuse for this, but I was drunk. I encountered one of our mutual friends who told me that Gabbie was looking for me again. And I lost it. That's the only way to describe how angry I got. And I unblocked Gabbie's number and I texted her, if you keep looking for me, you're gonna find me and I'm gonna punch you in the face. That is the physical violence threat. I immediately knew that I shouldn't have sent that to her. So I went to my room, I fell asleep, and the next morning I left VidCon early because that's my responsibility to remove myself from a situation where I'm losing control. But that's not the end of it because even after sending that text message, which I think most people would look at and say, oh, this person's obviously at their mental break, Gabbie decided that she was going to reach out to multiple people, but one of them being Alex James, and send him a series of text messages asking where I am, if I went home, and if he could relay a message. She wanted him to send a message to me.
Sorry. There's like a mosquito or something. I don't know what the hell it is. So if you see me doing stuff, that's it. But I'm listening. Also, by the way, I am fully. I don't condone violence. I don't condone violence. In the same breath, I can say that Uh, if there's people, I think that's harassment too. Like if your friendship had ended with someone and this someone is still actively looking for you and spreading around the words like I am looking for you, knowing that there's friction, knowing that if you meet together it would be messy and it would be ugly. I think you are looking forward to being punched in the face, honestly. So I think it's okay for her to have sent that message because she made it clear. Please stop looking for. Please leave me alone. She said it. The main focus of this video and the things that everybody will keep saying through the time, through the years, is Gabbie Hanna, please leave Jessi Smiles alone, because I think should be like a t-shirt or something, because this is everything that she asked for. She said whatever she wanted to say, just as much in these videos, this and the other one, and she just asked to be left alone, honestly. But she never did it, and that's harassment, in my opinion.
When I think I made it clear that I don't want any messages and I don't want to be found by her, I don't want to be talked to by her, I think my message made that pretty clear. And in those text messages, she said that if he can't get those messages to me, then she'll just get a random to do it, which is something that Gabbie did a lot. And it really frustrates me that she talks about boundaries when she has never respected a single boundary in my entire life. When I block her, she goes to my email and she emails me anyway. When I make it clear that I don't want to talk to her, she goes to other people to get messages to me. There is no escaping her, and she makes it seem like I want so much to do with her. She literally has always pushed and pushed and pushed until I'm like exploding. I don't know what else to do. So anyway,
And when she cannot go through emails and other people to reach you, she goes to YouTube and she makes podcast.
Alex did not relay that message to me. She ended up emailing me the message herself. Alex asked her if she figured it out, and she says, nah, it doesn't matter. I just need to not take it personally. She has a mental disorder. I'm not saying that to be like she's crazy. She's just genuinely sick, and I can't help how her mind works. It's just the same as my mom. You just can't reason with people whose brains function that way. It's just hard to not take it personally and to have someone have such a weird, skewed perception of you. And when she emailed me, she basically
The tables, guys.
was like, I have no idea why you're upset with me. I thought everything was fine. Why did it get to this point? And I feel like I'm going insane. I'm like, Gabbie, you tried to recruit Richie for an exposed video about me. The person you tried to have sex with to spite me. Yeah, I'm fucking pissed. Stop looking for me. I don't want to talk to you. Go away. And this is after she had been in-house with Curtis and allowed him to apologize to her if he had ever been rude at events. This was after that. So this is not the only thing you've done to spite me. And now you're just pissing me off. And when I point that out to Gabbie and I say, Gabbie, you tried to recruit Richie for an exposed video, she's like, well, it was just a preemptive measure. Gabbie has a history and a pattern, if you will, of not addressing things until they're shoved in her face. She will hide anything and everything that she has to do with a situation. It's not a memory thing. She's always done this. That event had just happened a few days before she emailed me. She knows damn well that she had tried to recruit Richie for this little exposed video, and you're gonna pretend to not know. You pretend to not know because you think I don't know. She will not address anything or be honest about anything until you show that you have proof of it. That is why people take things public with you, Gabbie. That is why people talk about you publicly.
And this is, I think, another check on the list, because this can be brought back to the fact that it's not a memory thing that she says I became popular because of my story time, instead of saying I became popular for doing shit on Vine that were controversial and that gathered me some bad things, like to be a little bit racist or something. It's not a memory thing that she talks about Trisha Paytas and Jessi Smiles without addressing the real issues, mostly with Jessi Smiles. I think it's something that she does because maybe she believes, oh, people forgot, or people don't know, or people would just listen to me without questioning. So again, this is why it's important to let other people speak about this.
Because privately, you will bombard them, you will make them feel like what they think happened never happened, and it's frustrating. So that's the threat of physical violence that she's talking about. And the reason why this series scared me is because, again, Gabbie's very irresponsible with how she distributes information. When this is how you describe an event,
I have the timeline of that where you reached out to me and you asked me if I wanted to get food and drinks, and I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then I heard you were at a party that I was at, so I asked a couple people at the party, like, hey, where's Jessi, where's Jessi? And then next thing I knew, I got a text saying, and I have this all obviously, next thing I know, I got a text that said, I'm blocking you just to say this right now, so I don't put my name in the top again, followed by a voice note saying that I'm lucky that you were getting the Uber because you were going to knock my fucking teeth out.
That's scary, Gabbie. You're painting it as like, I just want to punch people for no reason. Again, not right how I handled it, should have handled it better. But there's a big difference between, let's go get food and drinks, I'm gonna punch you in the face, and you tried to do a bunch of shit that you knew would piss me off, and then you continue to push and push and push me until I broke. I snapped. Now the blackmail, much quicker to address. It's not as long and convoluted as a story. So for the blackmail, what she's referring to started when she emailed me and congratulated me on my pregnancy with my son in 2017. I responded and thanked her. I had her number blocked. That's why she messaged me, but I responded nicely anyway and said, I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. 4 months later, without me and her having any direct contact, it's not like me and her were going at it and I expected retaliation. Like nothing happened. She says I tweeted something. At this point, I could have tweeted anything and she could have said it was about her. I really don't know. But 4 months later, I was 7 months pregnant. One night, I get a bunch of tweets. Hey, I think Gabbie's new story time is about you. And the story time was about the time where she stole my man. And the man she's referring to is Richie. So seeing that story time and how nasty she spoke about me, because she wasn't just saying a story, she was being disgusting. How you say that shit when 4 months earlier you were like, you're so positive in life now, congratulations. It was disgusting to me. And quite frankly, she lied in it because no, I'm not insane, Gabbie. The story ended with you.
And this is what I want to underline multiple times, because I think here lies the truth about everything that's happening right now with her. Um, she's married. She said our life rocks. Talking with the husband, but still she comes for other people who are living a better, apparently, because you don't know what the hell is going on with the lives of other people, who are with the life of other people who are living a better life. um, like they have family, they have children. Trisha Paytas has success and a good like fan base, and she doesn't have that. So here I think we can see the duality of her congratulating. Maybe she was like happy. In my opinion, I don't know. Her extending the congratulations to Jessi Smiles because of the pregnancy, and then 4 months later putting out that story time where she knew, even if we are not friends, even in this kind of things, you know that if you talk about someone online, they will have people reaching out and telling them, I think this person is talking about you, even if you don't follow this person and you don't want to hear about this person. So that's really, really, really shitty to do. That's really her MO, honestly. And usually she did this back in the time when she was putting out music or beauty, putting out other stuff that she wanted the attention to. Um, and she did it too right now. She put it out the music with her husband, and she used this as traction, honestly.
with you trying to have sex with Richie. I was like, why are you going so hard on a topic where you're dead wrong for? But anyway, I texted her and we spoke about this on the phone call. I said something to the effect of, hey, what the fuck? If you keep this video up, I'm gonna have to defend myself like you're lying in this video. And that is what Gabbie Hanna deems as blackmail. I am not lying. That is what happened. I have never in my life said, hey, Gabbie, if you don't take that video down, this is going to be really bad for you. You have 48 hours to take the video down, then sign a non-disclosure agreement about the situation with Richie and do whatever the hell else I come up with, or else I'm going to expose you. No, Gabbie, I never did that. That's you. And what you did is actually textbook blackmail. And if I had any fucking money or any will to deal with you in court for multiple years and prolong this, then I would take you to court. Because not only did you blackmail me, what you're doing in this series is fulfilling that threat. So I just find it very ironic that she thinks a text message where I'm saying, if you're going to leave that.
And honestly, I am really sorry that she didn't do that, because Jessi Smiles didn't brought her to court, because she just gave her another option to bring down people whenever she feels to, whenever she needs to. Um, and that's really, really. And I'm I'm also wondering why she didn't talk about like Joy Graceffa and Daniel Prida right now, and also why she didn't talk about the Rice Gum situation. I don't know if something went on with the these three people. Uh, but yeah, I think that she does this. She will continue to do that, and I don't know. It's terrible, honestly.
video up, I'm gonna defend myself. She thinks that's blackmail with what she's done. It's just so bizarre, and she says it with such conviction. Notice how when I posted the tweets, I didn't even say blackmail. I called it an ultimatum because I'm careful with my fucking words, Gabbie. You can't go around calling people abusers because you don't like them, because shit has happened with them. That's the physical violence. That's all the fucking threats that she's talking about. She takes tweets, subtweets as threats. She sees things, and I'm not trying to like gaslight her. She just sees things where they're not there. That people I hate video had nothing to do with her, and it just genuinely leaves you in a place where you don't want to invalidate someone else, but you're also like, you're just saying stories that never happened, Gabbie. Hard.
And with this, also, I want to address the fact when in one of the podcast episode, I think, I don't remember, uh, Gabrielle Kroner Hanna, I need to stop to call her that. She says something along the lines of, I don't, I don't live online anymore, which is a lie. I don't Google my name, which is a lie. Um, and because in another or in the same breath, I don't remember, she says, yeah, I just went on YouTube, I think. Yeah, YouTube, and I saw a video of this person, this creator, calling me a Christian, calling my the first episode of the podcast a Christian breakdown, a Christian something like Christian something. And she was like hurt about this, about people talking about her, about that. And I am pretty sure that it was not the full your algorithm fault who showed you a video about yourself. I think it was you Googling, not Googling, but researching on YouTube Gabbie Hanna, and maybe also using the recent filter videos updated, and you saw that. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that's that. So this is why I think she is obsessed about she still is obsessed about this, and maybe this is why she is stepping away from posting and being on internet while letting other people post. And I really really think this is the best for her, because if you are so obsessed with you and yourself and public perception mostly, like, you shouldn't be online, honestly. And I'm saying this, like, if tomorrow someone comes and makes a video about me, and I had a person did that like weeks ago, I never watched the video. I saw that they tagged me, and I was like, okay, good for them, I guess. I don't know. Also because I have like 5 followers, so they want. But even if they have massive traction, good for them, I don't care. um so I honestly, and she says, Jessi Smiles says, this is my truth, and what really it's worth. I will say just once, and this is my truth, and that's it, because I know that's the truth. Um, so as many people are talking about, I don't know why every now and then, every year, she needs to come back. Gabrielle Kroner Hanna needs to come back and reiterate her testimony or her truth or her story, in order to us to listen. We know, we just don't care, we just don't trust you, we just don't think what you're talking about is the full truth. We hear you, we listen to you, we come up with our own conclusion, and you cannot, like, I can talk about something that happens to me, uh, but if people don't believe me, if people do their researches and say, yeah, you're talking bullshit or whatever, I cannot. That's my truth, I said it out loud, that's it. So whatever, I need to sit it with it and move on, or either I need to go to therapy and move on, or either I need to stay in therapy and try to figure out how to move on, honestly. So I don't know how this will end up, honestly. I just hope that she will find a way to actually uh stay, because she wants to stay relevant. She wants to stay on the internet, and I really hope she can find a way to do that without dragging people for views and attention and stuff like that.
Parts of what Gabbie has done to me, if you guys have been around for long enough to witness, has been emotional abuse. What she's done in regards to my trauma and airing it out and lying about it and making me the villain of it in itself is emotional abuse to a certain extent. However, I would never refer to Gabbie Hanna as my abuser. That is not a term you throw around.
And that's not counting the first time I ever had an interaction with Jessi Smiles, which was when she mobilized her fans in 2013 when she had well over 1 million followers and I had 10,000 and had just started Vine.
What she's talking about is very confusing because I never mobilized my fans against her. But what actually happened is that she made a Vine where she said that she was coming for my crown or something. And I'm gonna be completely honest, it wasn't like a horrendous Vine where she was being awful to me, but I picked up a vibe, okay? I didn't like her energy. The way she delivered it, I don't know, she just gave me a bad feeling. So I blocked her. I don't remember if I commented on it, but I might have commented something like, this is cringe or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly. But the point is I blocked her. I did not mobilize fans against her. I did not make a Vine and say, guys, what the fuck is up with this girl? But I did block her. And she has expressed to me that that hurt her feelings. And so for that, I'm sorry that I blocked you in 2013 because you rap battled me.
Jessi continues to move the goalpost, and no matter what, I will never be free of her abuse because nothing will ever be good enough because her goal is for me to suffer.
The goalpost never moves. The thing I want remains the same, and that is for you to leave me alone. Everything I have ever said about you has been a response to your actions towards me. If you stop being horrible to me, I will stop responding to you. Hand to God. Even though this last year you didn't leave me alone, I still left you alone because I don't want anything to do with you. The proof is in the fucking pudding, Gabbie. You don't stop. Whether it's private, and that was a big thing in our phone call where she's like, you publicly say things about me, you publicly tweet, you publicly subtweet. Gabbie, in private, you try to convince everyone I'm mentally ill and have mental disorders. You lie to people and tell them awful shit about me. Things like I'm a slut. You do things that make me upset and then you act so flabbergasted that I'm upset. Stop lying about situations that hurt me. Stop doing things to hurt me on purpose, and then I won't have anything to react to, Gabbie. But I don't know who you think you're dealing with. Although I am an emotional and very sensitive person, I'm not gonna fucking take things lying down. I'm gonna have things to say. I'm a human being, and I'm a strong woman. You think I'm just gonna be like, oh, Gabbie said things, but it's okay, no big deal. No, it pisses me off, and I have every right to say something. So if you want things to stop, all you have to do is stop.
Everything started in 2019 because I DM'd somebody who tweeted that I chose my best friend's and I asked her to please show me the evidence. She insisted to me that the evidence existed. She said she remembered seeing a tweet that I said I was standing by Curtis's side no matter what. That did not exist. She sent me a Vine that it was not me in the Vine. So now that Jessi had to drop the I chose my best friend's I'm a social climber story that she's been pushing since 2015.
What I find really interesting about this screenshot, and she puts it on the screen, that the tweets I'm talking about are not about Curtis. The tweets that she put on screen are about Richie. Richie had started a Vine account where he was talking about how we broke up, and she commented on his Vines, and I thought that was disgusting. And then the tweets on the right are Jen Dent, my friend, not me.
So what she's referring to is this is such a convoluted story, but basically that's true. There were times when I would want to say something and I just felt like I couldn't. I felt like it would be too much drama. I felt like I would be bringing up too much if it was on my account. And so Jen would be like, just read on my account. I would do it, and I shit you not, ask Jen. 2 minutes later, it was like a diary. It was like a diary that I just needed like word vomit, and I was deleting it.
This is really frustrating because she's trying to paint the picture as if when Jen tweeted those things, it was really me. No tweet I have ever made on Jen's account, which I've already explained, super immature. I felt like I couldn't use my own voice to say certain things, mainly about Curtis, not about Gabbie ever, I don't think. But everything I've ever said on Jen's account, deleted. I never left a tweet up. So everything that she's talking about, Jen herself said. And she's trying to put this clip of me saying like, yes, I used to log into Jen's Twitter account, and paint it as if these tweets are me. Gabbie, no. And Jen herself tweeted, yeah, I said that, and I'd say it again.
She moved on to say that I hung out with her and his friends, which didn't happen.
You never hung out with Curtis and his friends? That was proven on the phone call. And then what's funny is that later on in this video, she admits there's many more times that people didn't even know about. This is the shit I'm talking about where she's like, well, why?
Sorry, my dog just made a noise. I was like, what the hell?
Do you keep responding? I keep responding because you keep lying. And even later on in this video, you contradict this statement, but like, this is why this is so frustrating for me. Which one is it, Gabbie? Did you hang out with him? Did you not hang out with him? We all know the answer. I'm just wondering which one you're gonna say.
She lied in saying that he pulled me aside and told me and that we talked in person.
He didn't call you. You hung out with Curtis's friends. Curtis was there. This is what you told me. He pulled you to the side and he told you that. He told you, I'm sorry, I was mean to you. I can't believe what Jessi did to you. Trying to get on your side. That was true. But it happened in person.
Absolutely did not happen. And I know that didn't happen. It was a FaceTime call. And I know for a fact it was a FaceTime call because he recorded it and blackmailed me with it.
I didn't know that she had FaceTimed Curtis Lepore until I had a phone call with her last summer. The reason why I said it wasn't a FaceTime call, this happened in person, is because Gabbie has hidden all of her interactions with Curtis, and it's only now that I know the majority of them. I'm sure there's more that I don't know about, but she's acting like it was a FaceTime call. Gabbie, I didn't know that because you've lied to me and you never told me about a FaceTime call. But either way, she now goes into the call, which is super disturbing.
She brought up the tweets that I already apologized for in 2014, and then when that kind of fell through, because she herself said, don't you remember you apologized to me for those tweets, that's how we became friends. So then she realized that she couldn't use the tweets anymore. So then she threatened me into a phone call that I told her I was not ready or in the headspace for.
How do you argue with someone that reads the same words in which you're saying you are not threatening them, you don't want to make a video, these are my emotions, this is how I'm feeling, trust me, I don't want to make a video, I don't want to pressure you into a phone call? How do you argue with the person that reads those words and sees I'm gonna make a video and I have evidence and I'm threatening you? That is why Gabbie and I have so many issues. We not only don't see eye to eye, we exist in different realities, and it is what it is, I guess.
I was so fucking mentally unwell that summer, and I don't think that any of you guys would fucking argue that. I needed the time and space to get better before approaching a conversation with my fucking abuser, dude. And then she continued to threaten me, telling me that if I didn't talk to her, that she was gonna have to make another fucking video about me.
If I'm your abuser, why did you paint us as being super civil and being able to have great conversations.
Jessi and I have been in a really good place for years. I congratulated her publicly on her wedding. She responded publicly, and we've had a lot of conversations over the years with no problems. I'm doing this publicly because you have me blocked, and I don't think that it's appropriate for me to reach out to you privately given that circumstance. Jessi, your number has never been blocked on my phone. I feel it through the years, and especially recently, that you and I have had some really positive discourse, and we have proof that we're capable of civil conversation. I truly thought that we've put all this behind us, but if there's something that you are hurt by that you want to talk about, or something we've talked about that you'd like to talk about again, I'm all ears. I'm happy to listen to you. We can talk privately if you'd like. We can do it publicly in the form of a video or podcast. We can have a private conversation.
And along the line of this duality, I want to point out the fact that this still happens. This happened when she made this video where she was in the sun praying and saying sorry to everyone, whatever, and then she made the after 1 year. She made less than 1 year. No, yeah, 1 year. She made the podcast episode. So in one instance, she's sorry, she's human, she wants to be, and in another instance, she's hurt, she wants revenge, she wants accountability, she wants to be people to say sorry to her, and she's being slandered and narcissistic abuser and blah blah blah. So these are still things that are valid today. So I am really really pointing out the fact that this still happens, honestly.
Where we record it just so that we have it for ourselves.
Am I your abuser, or am I someone that you have civil conversations with? Are you open to having a conversation with me, or are you terrified about having a conversation with me because I'm your abuser? It can't be both, Gabbie.
So I had the conversation,
Yes.
even though I knew that she was just trying to catch me in something and get something that she could use, and that's exactly what she did.
I find that ridiculous because I quite literally said a million times in that phone call that I wanted this to end, that I would not talk about her, that she could sue me if she wanted to, that I did not want to make this public or continue this publicly. What part of that and saying that a million times made you feel like I was waiting for you to slip up so I can expose you?
The fact that I spoke to Curtis was absolutely not news to Jessi. The fact that you told me the story was absolutely not news to Jessi. I told her that in 2015. That's why she started the rumor that I chose my best friend's and that I was a social climber.
No, you didn't, Gabbie. No, you did not. You have been proven to not be honest, to not remember things how they went down. So how dare you tell me what you told me in 2015? I think I would fucking remember if my ex-best friend told me that she allowed the man that raped me to tell her about that night. I think I would have remembered that.
Jessi was looking for any moment that she possibly could so that she could get emotional on the call because she was filming it, and she always knew she was going to post it.
I was waiting for a moment to get emotional on the call. Gabbie, the last time I checked, I haven't won any fucking Oscars. And this whole filming thing, a lot of people have been like, well, why Jessi film it? I don't understand. Let me break it down for you. I recorded the call on photo booth. I was not going to set up my microphone and start recording audio professionally. I literally was like, I'm just going to record it on my laptop. And my computer is always aimed at me because I have my laptop on a stand, and then I have my big monitor that I edit on. So I have to have the screen turned to me so that I can drag things to my monitor. You think I set up a fucking tripod? Do you think that I wouldn't have, number one, perhaps dressed for the occasion when half of it I'm not even wearing a bra and I'm wearing a fucking robe and I look haggard as fuck? Do you think that I filmed that and was being opportunistic about that and wanting to get emotional to show people? Is that why I held on to that for a year? If I wanted to do this for attention and for emotion, I would have put that phone call on my YouTube channel the second we fucking had it. I didn't want this. I didn't want people to see me like that. For you, again, to interpret someone displaying emotion as manipulative says a lot more about you than it does to me. I think you have a lot of issues inside yourself that manipulate other people with emotion, if I'm being completely honest, because I could never look at a video of someone crying like that and feeling the way that I felt and be like, oh, they were just looking for a moment to get emotional. Gabbie, do you have any empathy for me at all as a human being? I mean, I know the answer to that.
The one thing I say on the call is, I think I tell her, I did say this because I remember putting it into the series too. On the call, I was like, Jessi, like, this isn't news. I told you this in 2015. This was public knowledge.
And by the way, the fact that she now, Gabbie Hanna, Kroner, Gabrielle, acts like people do not support her, people do not empathize with her. That's my cloud. I think it's karma. I think it's karma that everything comes back to you. And in the moment you said to this person, you are crying for attention, you were waiting to cry on the phone call that you by the way, props to Jessi Smiles, who was able to um, record the phone call. Bravo to her. But the fact that you said to her, you just did it because you wanted the attention, you wanted to have the upper hand. It's karma, and it's biting her, because if she did want the if she wanted people to empathize with empathize with her today, she needed to be more human and empathetic back then. You weren't. So why now you expect people to do what you couldn't do? Because honestly, empathy, it's not something that you can teach, honestly. It's something that you can learn through the years, through your formative years. But I think if you don't have it by 20, 25, you won't have it growing up, honestly. And my dog just placed his head on the table. So cute. So why now you are upset that people do not empathize with you when you are sharing your testimony, which is, by the way, your testimony. So we don't need to empathize. We don't need to do anything, honestly, because you didn't do that. You didn't do that in the past. So what the hell do you want from us? Just leave us alone. Just go and do whatever you want to do.
I wrote in the note that apology. And the reason I said that is because I believed I did, because it happened. I would never say something on purpose that would be that easy to disprove, especially to somebody like her who's looking for a lie. I thought that I put that in the notes app apology because I thought I did.
The same way you thought you put that in the notes app apology, you thought you told me about the story. I never knew about it. You never included it in your apology. You just think you do things and you didn't. I wasn't looking for a reason for you to lie. I just went to go check after you insisted multiple times when I told you, please, let's change the subject. You insisted, no, but I wrote that in my notes and I just thought you knew about that. So I went and checked your notes of the apology and it wasn't there. I wasn't looking for anything, Gabbie. It was literally right there. You asked me to go check.
So the reason I removed it from the first draft was because I never wanted to talk directly about Jessi's story, because I knew by saying something like Curtis told me his side of the story that it would start opening up questions. Well, what did they both say? This is something that I literally never wanted to fucking do. I never wanted to do any of this.
She says on screen that if I said I asked Curtis what his story was, it would open up questions of if the story matched and if it didn't, how I handled his lie. I thought he was the one that asked you to tell you about that night.
He said, do you mind if I tell you the story of that night? And I said, I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like, I've heard her side. You can tell me yours.
Nothing that Gabbie says about her interactions with Curtis are honest. I believe that 100%. She either doesn't remember them genuinely or is hiding them on purpose.
But now, because she put out a very highly edited and manipulated portion of a private phone conversation used to make me look like I'm a fucking monster.
Give me one way in which I removed context or made you look like a monster in a scenario where your own words didn't already make you look like a monster. Gabbie talks about like, oh, Jessi drops atomic bombs on me. The atomic bombs I drop on you are your literal words. The words you speak and you write. If that is an atomic bomb on your life, you need to reconsider the way you treat people and the way you speak to people.
She got upset that I used the clip that she posted from the phone call in my intro video. And like, so you can post it publicly. It involves me directly, but I'm not allowed to say anything about it. That's what I've been experiencing. You can just say whatever the fuck you want and do whatever the fuck you want. It can be as one-sided as possible, and I just don't get a say.
It involves you directly because you lied about a situation that is traumatic to me. Maybe I would feel okay with you talking about it if every time you did talk about it, you didn't lie. Use the clip of me crying all you want, Gabbie. I asked you not to out of common decency. You just want to be able to talk about it to do it. You don't add anything productive or substantial to the conversation of you and Curtis Lepore. You only hurt me further. You only make me explain things regarding my trauma further, and it has no benefit. That's why I told you not to continue talking about it. Not because I want to control the things you talk about, but because you're just hurtful with this fucking topic, and you've proven to not only not be
Exactly. Here lies everything. Here lies the essence to her testimony. The fact that she wants to come back, and as many people said and addressed and stated and underlined, she came back, she talked about this testimony, but it's not even her testimony. It's the testimony of how Trisha Paytas was like caught up in that storm about what happened with her ex. Now that she has a husband and children, by the way, mind that, so not even respectful of that. And talking about Jessi Smiles and her abuse and her situation. You're not even say I don't like this person because this and that. We fought. We never went along. We had different ideas. No, you perpetually bring back traumas that are of others. Like it's not even your trauma. It's from and the one time that she brought up her trauma regarding the rice gum situation, the phone smashed and everything, everyone was siding with her. So this is what is interesting. So this is why people are saying you are bringing this up because of you want the views. That's the only thing you want.
considerate or empathetic in any way when you're addressing it, but you lie about it. It's a wonder I don't want you talking about it.
If you truly didn't want me to use the clips, if you truly didn't want me to talk about your trauma, then you should have just fucking left me alone. And you're not afraid of me holding, dude, you're not afraid of me doing this because you think I might lie. She's afraid because she knows I know the truth, and she knows that I have the evidence to back it up.
I'm afraid you know the truth. I don't even know what your truth is, if I'm being completely honest. And if I didn't want you to talk about my trauma, I should have left you alone. How about shut the fuck up about people's trauma? period. You are so quick to tell people they can't speak about yours or situations that are sensitive to you, but someone else cannot ask you to stop lying, stop bringing a painful situation up to serve you. If you have an issue with me and things I've done to you, go ahead, Gabbie, bring it up. Talk about the time I almost punched you or whatever you want to do. That is fine. That's your story to tell. That involves both of us. Go for it. But for you to feel like you even have the fucking right at this point with how much you've lied about the situation, and then you're gonna have the audacity to tell me like, she's scared because I know the truth. Gabbie, you never speak the truth. Even when you speak your truth, it's like so easily disprovable because it doesn't even make any sense. I'm scared of the way that you deliver information in such an irresponsible, unempathetic, horrible way. That's what I'm scared of, Gabbie. Not the truth, your truth.
There'd be no reason that she'd be so upset about this video or me leaking the phone call. She would be trying so hard to weaponize her trauma against me, saying, don't talk about me and my trauma, don't make me relive my trauma. Nobody did that but Jessi. How many times do I have to ignore Jessi?
The fact that this is what she's doing right now regarding her trauma, it's crazy. Like, it's always like history repeating itself. It's crazy, honestly. And the fact that she says, am only speaking about Jessi Smiles when Jessi Smiles brings me up today, 2026, nobody was talking about Gabbie Hanna. Nobody was addressing her. Nobody was even asking, oh, what the hell is she doing or something. Nobody was doing that. She just brought up, like, she came out and throw up all these informations about her testimony. So also, if you don't want people to talk about you, yourself, your experiences, whatever, as they said at the beginning of the conversation, they were talking about disclosing an NDA, both about this situation. So if you don't want people to talk about you, yourself, your life, whatever, just sign the damn NDA. But no, you didn't sign it because you were thinking to be smart. You were thinking, oh, this can gather me some views, like you are doing in 2026. But unfortunately, as much as 4 years ago, this backfired. This backfired, and no one is on your side, and no one will ever be on your side anymore, in my opinion.
Trying to involve me in a trauma that has fucking
Unabashed.
nothing to do with me before I get to say something about it. And I know that I can also prove that anything I've ever done to you was a direct response to multiple attacks as a desperate move to try to get you to leave me the fuck alone.
Can you please explain to me how becoming friends with a man who raped me after you were my best friend and I trusted you and I allowed you into my life in a very personal and vulnerable way? Can you explain how becoming friends with a rapist, period, is a direct action of me not leaving you alone? I'm very curious to hear your response because in my book, personally, just me, nothing in this world can make me be friends with a rapist. I know this seems random, but a lot of you guys remember my Sam Pepper story time where I almost fought Sam Pepper. But what a lot of you guys don't know is that that story included Gabbie in it. Gabbie was the person that I barely knew at the time who came into an apartment where I was and she was crying and she said that Sam Pepper pushed her. She had apologized to me for the tweets already, but we were not close friends. And what did I do? I went on Twitter and I told him to go fuck himself or something along those lines. And then I almost fought him at an event when him and Logan Paul came up to me and said, you weren't even there. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And I said, I don't have to fucking be there. I saw my friend crying and I know who you are, what you've done to multiple women. And I was willing to not just not be friends with Sam Pepper and anyone that he associates with. I was ready to fight a grown man for hurting someone that I didn't even know at the time. Nothing in this world, Gabbie, would have made me be friends with a rapist. Nothing in this world would have made me interact with a rapist, period. Not a phone call, not being in the same room. If there's a rapist near me, they better fucking run. So for you to say everything I've done is a direct action, please describe what action I've done that made you surround yourself and be in multiple scenarios and almost collaborate with Curtis Lepore.
I told Jessi the truth on the call. I listened to Curtis when he asked me if he could tell me his side of the story because I knew the true story. Jessi showed me the evidence. She showed me the text messages. I heard her side of events. And if he was gonna try to say something that wasn't true, I was gonna call him the fuck out on it. I also listened to Curtis because he's a human being. And just like in a real court, in the court of public opinion, if you're gonna judge and condemn somebody, you should at least hear them out.
This is crazy. This is crazy. And honestly, her keeping this up after years and years and years and not even say, yeah, I was saying stupid dumb things back then, but coming back with their testimony or whatever the fuck she's doing. um I have many, 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 many friends, and if women, but even men, honestly, I want to be fair. If my male friends, female friends, non-binary friends will come to me and say this happened with this person, I will never question the other side. Never question the other side. No, no matter everything. And honestly, I side with Jessi Smiles on this. You will never hear me even say that's a human being. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Unless there's a court order that says, yeah, your friend actually said talk bullshit. This never happened. And even then, I would be like, is, are you sure? Like, I don't know. You cannot question shit like this, honestly. The fact that you did it back then and the fact that you are going through again without considering the fact that this woman asked you multiple times to shut the fuck up, move on with your fucking life. It's insane. It's insane. I don't give a fuck about your diagnosis. I am not this, I'm not that. You're just a really, really ugly human being. You can say you're Christian, you're Buddhist, you're Hindu, oh, that. Whatever you are, I don't care. You are a gross human being, honestly. Even after all these years, still going through.
You're not the court of public opinion, Gabbie. You were my best friend. We had just stopped being friends, had a falling out, not for a huge reason, but because I didn't want to continue our friendship. You are not the court of public opinion. You were someone I fucking trusted.
The reason Curtis called me is because the rumors that Jessi was spreading about me and the horrible shit that she was saying about me got back to him, and he found out that we weren't friends anymore. So he asked a friend to put us in contact and got my number. And I do think it's also important to note that at the time, the entire community was still backing Curtis, including Jessi's best friend, Alex James, who was actually Jessi's friend at the time. That's why this entire thing holds no fucking weight. Alex James called Jessi when the article dropped, and Jessi told Alex her story personally to her friend. I'd never met her. And then after Alex's friend Jessi told him about her, he still chose to move in with Curtis. He still chose to collab with Curtis. He still actively associated himself as Curtis's friend. And I'm the fucking villain.
This is what I mean when I say stop bringing up my shit, Gabbie. Gabbie knows why I'm still friends with Alex. She knows everything that's transpired. Now her story holds no weight because Alex is still my friend and he was friends with Curtis. She knows the backstory there because she was friends with both Alex and I for a very long time, including far after Alex was friends with Curtis. But because Gabbie continues to need to bring things up to shield herself, to say, but not me, Alex, this continues to put me in a position where now I'm gonna have to sit here and explain why I'm friends with Alex James and not friends with Gabbie Hanna. And both have to relate back to who? Curtis Lepore. This is why I don't want you bringing shit up anymore, Gabbie. You continue to make me need to address things that you already know the answer to and that still don't make what you did any better. So you know what? Let's just get into it. Number one, she describes Alex as my best.
Also, can I just say that uh when something happened with someone, like two people, back and forth, like Jessi Smiles is only talking about her, Gabbie Hanna. It was Gabbie Hanna, now Kroner, Gabrielle, uh, who was talking and bringing people, like, if you're not able to defend yourself just with your truth, just speaking your truth, but you need to bring on more people, that's like a way to not communicate truth. I don't know how to say it properly, honestly, not even in Italian right now. But if you cannot, like, if I know I am right about something, I will just say I am right because of this and that. And that's it. I don't need to say I am right also because that person over there says that I'm right. And yet that other person over there says that I'm right. No, I just need my truth. I don't give a fuck about others. I don't give a fuck about what other people say, the other people's opinions. I don't give a fuck. I am right. That's it. This is my list. That's it. So the fact that she's talking about Jessi Smiles, talking about now I need to because you keep bringing people into your testimony, back then your truth, and now I need to disclose my relationship to this, to that, to that other person. It's something really awful, and like you are using this to manipulate people opinion, in my opinion. I am barfing so much this damn Red Bull.
Best friend. I love Alex. He was never my best friend, nor is he my best friend now. Him and I have never had that close of a relationship. We've had a very friendly relationship. I appreciate him as a friend. We have never been best friends. She says that because she wants to paint him in the same light where she was, where one would think I would expect the same things out of him that I expected from her. And that's simply not the truth. She was my best friend. We lived together. She knew my fucking whole life. Alex is someone I met from the internet. I get along with. He's very sweet. And we stay in each other's life and we keep up with each other. How are you? I'm good. How are you? That's it. Alex was friends with Curtis before everything happened. Alex was friends with me before everything happened. He was in a position where he felt he needed to be neutral. And to be completely clear, it's not a situation you stay neutral in. He knows that. Alex never publicly bashed me in the way Gabbie did. Gabbie very publicly called me a liar, fought with multiple people over it because she was so sure that I was a liar, said that girls cry rape in her neighborhood thousands of times. Alex did none of that. Every interaction Alex has had with Curtis, he has apologized to me for, and he was honest with me about in the time it was happening. Every interaction he had with Curtis Lepore, I knew about. Most of them he told me about before they happened, but at a certain time, I just accepted that they were friends. But the real reason why Alex is in my life today is because Alex knows what he did wrong. I don't even know how many times Alex has apologized to me, and not just apologized to me. Literally a few weeks ago, he was FaceTiming me and he had tears in his eyes, and he's like, I should have never fucking put you in that position. And I have to tell him, Alex, it's okay. It passed. You grew from it. You learned from it. But that man, he knows what he did wrong, and he's owned up to it publicly, and he's owned up to it, more importantly, privately to me, and has shown me that he gives a fuck about me and that he feels horrendous for the position he put me in and how he hurt me. For you to use him as a scapegoat to lessen the heat off of yourself for things that you're still doing is just disgusting. And this is the type of shit I'm talking about when I say, stop talking about this. Stop talking about this if all you're gonna do is deflect and lie and put shit onto other people and then force me to explain it when this shouldn't need to be explained.
So when Curtis called me, I was being attacked by Jessi relentlessly. Everybody else was saying Curtis was a great guy, including Jessi's friend Alex. So I heard him out. It was a really fucking confusing situation and really difficult to navigate. And I was very isolated because I was Jessi's friend.
Gabbie was not my only friend. I don't know why she is portraying that nobody was my friend. Was I isolated and a lot of people believed Curtis and stayed friends with Curtis? Yeah, but I was not like a hermit crab that nobody wanted to touch because I was like infected. Like, what is this rhetoric that I lived this horrible, miserable life where nobody wanted anything to do with me? That's not the fucking truth either. I had friends at the time, Gabbie, and I'm not even talking about like my real life friends, even influencer friends. And I just find it very insane that you are the only one that complains about being isolated. I have a lot of other people that stood by my side and never for a fucking second did they make me feel like that was a burden.
And nobody fucked with me because I was Jessi's friend. And that was okay with me. I was okay being the person who had Jessi's fucking back.
Do you know how many people I've met over the years that have been wonderful to me? Get over yourself. And guess what? In the end, you weren't a good friend at all. You completely opened yourself up to a relationship with someone who hurt me like Curtis hurt me. Don't paint yourself as if you were a good friend. Everything you ever did and said during our friendship is null and void when you did what you did with Curtis Lepore. Stop painting yourself as if you had my back. You know what people who had my back did? Avoided him like the fucking plague. Not because I asked them to, just because that's what people do with rapists.
After he apologized, he said, can I tell you my story? And I said, yes, I'll listen.
Earlier you said that you asked him, and again, now you're going back to he asked you. What really happened, Gabbie?
If Curtis came to me with fucking hard facts that Jessi was lying in some way, I still wouldn't have fucking defended him. He told me that was fine. He would never expect that. He just wanted to be heard. Then I asked him if he was recording because I was paranoid because of some of the shit that Jessi was doing to me. And he told me no. He told me almost the exact same story that Jessi told me. I don't think it's reasonable to assume that consent was implied, especially because they were broken up. You can still rape somebody if you're in a relationship, by the way. But if they were together and that she had previously told him something and there was a misunderstanding, I think that would probably be a different story. But you don't know that your ex wants to have sex with you in the first place.
This is where I start to lose any ability to be kind in the things I'm going to say or react in a way that's in any way calm. Not that I've really been calm in this.
I am not going to show this because this is something really I just want to jump a little bit. Let's see if I can catch, because this is something that I don't want to reiterate more and more and more because this is crazy
To hurt me. And you're saying that he clipped together your words so that it's
wait.
Attack on Jessi Smiles is an attack on what the internet is saying and what you're allowing.
There's some shit that pops up. Like after I did my first video, the responding to Jessi, and I talked about specific tweets. Those were all the tweets I could possibly find. And then I saw more tweets afterwards, and my fucking jaw dropped. Dude, I've been living in constant fear that a lie that I don't even know I'm telling is gonna catch up with me because I don't fucking remember it. Because I do impulsive shit and I forget about it. I have memory issues, dude.
What you're basically saying is that you're so impulsive and you've done so much shit to hurt people over the years that you can't even keep track of it. And quite frankly, that's something you need to get help for. I'm not like shaming your mental health at all. I'm just saying that is a scary situation. And it means that you've treated a lot of people in ways that you can't even keep track of at this point because it's been so many, because you're so impulsive. That's not an excuse. Stop hurting people and you don't have to keep track of anything.
I've done some fucking shit to like hurt people's feelings and the situation of others. You think that's so fucking tough?
This connects perfectly to this video. 70 minutes of her saying sorry randomly to lots and lots of people, and then the last how much was it? The last 5 minutes? Oh, last 5 minutes singing to Jesus Christ. But yeah, this connects perfectly to the fact that she needed to put out a long overdue apology to a lot of people. And probably, in my opinion, the fact that she never mentioned anyone is that because it was so many people that she couldn't even remember everybody. Honestly, in my opinion, again.
Tough for me is I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And that's how I've been feeling like since 2015, but like specifically the last 2 years since she started this shit. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like every fucking day feels like I'm walking in a fucking landmine. And like I just don't want to fucking step on anything.
You have put yourself in these situations. You have made the decision to have the interactions with Curtis Lepore that you have had. Rather than just sit here and say you lied, you're bringing up our past and talking about that I privated videos. Gabbie, we're not here talking even about my 2019 video anymore. This has become so much more than that because of how much you've lied and how much you've put me through when you've lied. You know what it is? That I'm pregnant, and it's not even like, oh, I'm pregnant, please pity me. Like, I'm fucking pregnant, Gabbie. I just had a miscarriage in January. I'm halfway done with my pregnancy, and I looked at my husband and I'm like, I haven't even enjoyed it. I don't deserve to have to be addressing this topic anymore. I left you alone for a year and you plotted a fucking series to follow through with your blackmail from last summer. I don't want to deal with you anymore. I promise my followers, this is my last video to Gabbie Hanna. I don't want anything to do with this person anymore. Whatever she says, anything, I don't even give a fuck what she brings up from my past. If there's a tweet I liked or a YouTube video where you feel I was talking about you, girl, go for it. Just go for it. I don't care. I am sorry to my followers. I'm sorry to anyone watching this video that you're having to be involved in my life in a way that I, quite frankly, never wanted you guys involved in my life. I think this is a bit too far. I want to be happy. I want to enjoy my pregnancy. I don't want to live in fear of a person who would rather blackmail me than own up to how she's lied. I'm done with this person. I think she is a danger on this platform, not just to the people that she terrorizes when they're having mental breakdowns, but to her fans and her followers who every day are sent marching in a different direction to defend her because she'd rather create this spectacle of a series and pretend that she's never ever spoken up about anything than just say, I fucked up here, period. If you want to take accountability, just do it. But
And honestly, talking about this, about her fans, I know, and I am really, 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 really glad about the fact that she has not the same platform that she had years ago, where she had thousands of people coming for her and helping her in her these missions that she had when she was talking shit about other people. I am glad that now she is kind of, and I know that this can sound mean, but when you know, when after this video, I hope that people will understand the fact that she is really, really, in my opinion, dangerous because one day she's good, one day she's bad, one day she loves someone, the day after she hates it. And you can even just listen to her words. One day she loves everybody, she's a Christian. The other day she has hatred in her heart and she has anger and she wants to retaliate. So you can even just listen to her. Don't even listen to me, to other drama channels. Um, I am really happy that right now her platform is just Patreon, just those 20 people that interact with her posts and that are on her chat. By the way, I am thinking to cover that. I have Patreon. It's just not as active, honestly, and I don't have any active members, but I am a creator on Patreon, so I can go there and read to the chat, because there are the leaked, which is not leaked because it's public, the leaked chat with the between her and other people talking shit again about Trisha Paytas and Jessi Smiles again and again. And honestly, in my opinion, I'm really, really, really happy that she has the smaller platform she can have, and that on the other platforms she does not have support besides Christian people who are like, yay, we love you because you're Christian. So I am going to let Jessi Smiles finish, and then I'm going to give you my last thoughts, because I think this video is about 6 hours long.
But stop trying to paint yourself as someone who does no wrong and gets called out for nothing, and you're just being attacked and you're just being hurt. You hurt people, Gabbie. You hurt people constantly. And mark my words, you will continue to hurt people. Once this series is over, 6 months, a year from now, when your music needs promoting, you are going to attack someone else like Rachel Oates or Oscar Wilde or Dominic DeAngelis. You are going to worry your followers on TikTok by doing dances and saying things that concern them. You are going to do that because that's you. That's nobody else but you. Those are things that you're doing. You feel like your life is just drama and things you have to address, but you refuse to hold up the mirror in front of your face and see how you got there. The part that you played in almost every situation. Is there situations where people are wronged for no reason and that you might have been wronged for no reason? Yeah, but a lot of them, that's not the case. You've had a huge part to play in almost every situation that you've been called out for. Again, I was bullied off of Vine. the only platform I knew, and I left in silence because that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do it with dignity. For you to say that this series is you leaving YouTube because you've basically been bullied off of YouTube, but then to bring everyone down with you, do you not think I could have been on Vine every day of my life and say, Curtis Lepore confessed to raping me? You guys that are leaving hate comments, you don't even know because he confessed in a phone call. Gabbie, why the fuck would I spend time trying to convince people who think I'm a horrible person over something I know happened? Why would I spend a breath on those people? For what? I left for myself. If you want to leave YouTube, there's the door. But stop trying to bring everyone into the shit that you caused. I'm not saying that I had no part in our situation. I mean, I've talked about parts I've had in this situation and, subtweets and whatever you want to call it. But like this, what you're doing, this series, what you've already done, how you've already lied, you're just hurting people. Anyway, I've been talking for a very long time and I'm very tired and I really don't have anything else to say. So that is all. And if you made it all the way through, I appreciate it.
Okay. So the last part I think should be like um a a mantra to every video after every video. Gabbie Hanna. There should be that phrase like it's something that after 6 months, after 1 year, like right now, she's leaving, but she's not really leaving, but she will come back. And when she will come back, she will drag someone else down with her in order to maybe she needs to release another, I don't know, song with her husband. And she will be like, yay, let's drag this other person for views, and my testimony in this case would be this and that. So I just, oh, sorry, I am just really really happy that this video is still on, that this video is still watched, and that I want to see the latest comments. The latest is title still holds years later, not surprised. Um, so this is everything you need to know, honestly. It doesn't matter what she says, it doesn't matter what she brings down this time. She will always do this. She will always tear people apart, mostly women and gay men. And yeah, I really hope that this video was informative, honestly. And please, still now, just go and give Jessi Smiles support. Even if this video is from 4 years ago, I am pretty sure that she will appreciate it even today.